We'll talk about that a little bit later. Goddamn, before we jump into anything, when you guys see this Friday, we're going to have 4DF again at Cultura Beer Garden, 9 p.m. Friday. See you guys there. Keep looking out on all social media to figure all the rest out. In any case, here we go.
Aliens on the border.
The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found.
Faster than light, spaceship of the future.
By direction of the President of the United States, stay in your home.
Is it human or inhuman? Earthly or unearthly?
Born in that swirling inferno of radioactive dust, there is no word to describe them.
We may be witnesses to a biblical prophecy come true.
Why is it that we usually ignore the fourth dimension?
Is this the human race of the future?
Aliens on the border.
There's few episodes that get me as worked up as a beer tasting episode, but this one's got my dick all sorts of hard because it's not only is it a beer tasting episode, but we're trying local beer from one of the first breweries in town, and this is almost like a dream come true. I feel like a little girl in a candy store. I'm Josh, here with Roger.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the leveled up Aliens on the Border. We've got a whole 3-camera setup. We've got flights from Saludos ready to go. I'm excited for all these cameras, but also kind of wary that you're just going to see in HD how hideous I am. And I'm ready for it, but I don't know if you are. So without further ado, we're going to introduce our guests for today. Let's go ahead and introduce you guys. I mean, we've got Saludos here. We've got he called himself Fifth Wheel. I don't think so. I think another beer expert. All experts here. I would say we're experts at drinking. You guys want to just kind of go off and introduce yourselves?
Sure. Yeah. I'll go first. Cool. Yeah. So I'm David Garza.
Bring the mic just a little closer to you. Sorry.
Yeah. David Garza. Saludos Brewing Company. Yeah.
Kenneth Correa, also Saludos Company. Nice to meet you here.
For sure. And
I'm Chris from Cultura Beer Garden. More of a beer drinker expert than beer expert, but I don't know, half and half maybe. I just love beer.
We've got like a fucking a great conglomerate of people here that are just enthusiastic about beer, man. And where I wanted to really start off was to kind of just go into Saludos and get into like what inspired you guys to start brewing, right? Like what finally motivated you guys to break ground and be one of the first brewing companies in here. But in any case, Dave, let's start there. Like what birthed Saludos?
Yeah, sure. All right. So probably started like when did you guys open?
2017.
All right. So probably started around there. Yeah. When I first met Chris, we didn't know each other, right? He was doing his deal. He had free mimosas, and I was like, dude, fuck yeah, free drinks, like. And I talked to him a little bit, and he was like, yeah, dude, we're opening up a beer garden. I was like, wait, a what? And he's like, yeah, a beer garden. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, it's about fucking time. It's about fucking time. Laredo's got a beer garden, and I was pretty excited, and it kind of just started from there, man. Like, so you guys were like a pretty big inspiration on this too.
Oh, thanks, man.
Wow. But yeah, we started. I always had this wild idea, right? Like, maybe one day I'll do something other than what I'm used to doing, and yeah, dude, just started brewing beer at home. Started coming out pretty good, and then I met Kenny through a home brewing, like
basically.
Yeah, like a craft beer, like
I'm a home brewer.
Yeah, so we started trading beers, and things were going like his beer was good. I thought my beer was pretty good. We just kept trading, and then I was like, dude, you know what? I'm gonna fucking open a brewery, man. And it took a few months, and one day Kenny invited me to his house, and I was like, hey, Kenny, I was like, I'm gonna open up a brewery, man. Like I handed him a sticker, and he's like, what's this, dude? I was like, yeah, bro. Like I'm gonna do it. Like, do you want to jump on board with us? Like, you want to brew beer with us? Like. And
I say, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
So from that point, Kenny and I just started brewing a shit ton of beer. I mean, literally, like in 2 months, like Kenny has been saying, like we probably brewed what a normal home brewer would do in a whole year. We condensed it into like 2 months just to start, messing around
with our techniques, recipes, method, what we like, what we don't like. We had to learn so many things. We had to reteach ourselves again, basically.
To get it
we're still learning
to the next level, so to speak, right? Yeah.
To be confident to give you beer now.
Yeah.
This is really fucking good. I've only had
to
the
be
one
honest,
of them.
to get into that level, that's what it took. Basically, another job.
We've had this conversation before with Chris actually about like the complexity and like what it is to kind of just dive into the whole like brewing process. I'm a huge nerd for like how everything works in terms of like the actual like process, right? What did it start like when you were just brewing at home? Like, was it just something you like YouTubed, or was it something that you learned from other brewers, or how did that?
For me, yes, I had to do research on YouTubing. Thank God, new era.
Yeah, right.
Imagine brewing in the 80s or 90s. You're like,
just figure it out.
Figure it out, brother.
There was books.
Yeah.
People probably died.
You had to read probably 600 pages book just to brew a pale ale. But now you can go on YouTube. Oh, that's why they do it.
Quick 15-minute video and you fucking out here brewing shit.
We live in a blessed area to learn.
Yeah, before you had to go to like a fucking library, like
basically.
It's also really cool, that David and Kenny they also they go to breweries, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, everywhere, Texas, all over Texas, and they are not afraid to ask questions. And for the most part, like I think most of the brewmasters are pretty cool about that, huh?
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's been pretty inspirational too, like the whole craft beer community. So I would say like maybe like 90% of all the breweries I've been to, and if I just ask questions like, "Hey, dude, like, are you guys brewing right now? Like, I can smell the grains, what's going on?" And yeah, I'm opening a brewery, and they're like, "Oh, you're opening a brewery? Like, dude, come back here. You know what we're doing here," and it's super fucking cool. And it usually ends with like beer drinking with the other brewers, and a lot of times too, man, they're like, dude, you know what? Take a whole fucking case home, like dissect it, like try to replicate it. Like, hey, do you want the recipe? Like, we'll give you the recipe.
Really?
You guys try it.
It's a camaraderie, yes.
Yeah, that's
interesting. They will teach you. They will tell you the recipes and everything. You need help? Shoot an email. I'm pretty sure somebody will answer.
Yeah, so
people don't believe, they're competing each other. No, they're friends.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That has been pretty cool. I mean, our backgrounds are not really in the business of brewing beer. We're just homebrewers that just decided to just jump right into it.
Take a leap of faith.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
But I know there's like a competitive edge on different kind of businesses, but when it comes to the craft beer, like it's like most of the guys are just open, like guys or girls, like they're just open with like, yeah, dude, come back here. Let me show you our secrets and learn from us. And
it's not like you just go to college and become a brewmaster.
Right.
I mean, they do have some courses and
some courses.
I would imagine
it's not like every college offer that, or maybe at your state level. Maybe you got to go out of the state to do that. So
I would imagine that a lot of that was like, I figured like when we were talking, like you said, like back in like the 70s and the 80s or whatever it was, like I would imagine a lot of that was like just like family like business,
right, like
kind of just passed on.
True.
So like it's really cool to hear that there's like a collaborative like craft community, like a brewing community who are really open to seeing it expand. As far as like here, like so then you came already prepared with the sticker and the name, right? Like is that what did you already have the idea of that?
So funny how that came up, the name, right? Saludos. My wife and I were talking for a few months. We're brewing beer at home, and she would help and do. She's fucking awesome, man. I got a really good wife. But
can you bring the mic just a little closer to you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, dude. So
it's okay. So I'll keep reminding you throughout. No worries.
All right. But yeah, dude. So we were talking like, hey, we should start doing something with this. And I kept telling her, I was like, we need a name that first like reflects like our culture.
Absolutely.
And that English speaker or a Spanish speaker can both understand very easily. And I fell asleep one night and I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, Saludos. Like, Saludos sounds fucking cool, dude. Like, like I think that's something that everybody, even the non-Spanish speaker, understands. And it really just has like good good vibes to it, man.
100%, dude. Like it just the phrasing or the fucking name, right? Just feels like saludos and boom, let's all fucking throw down.
I like the hashtag Saludos from Laredo.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, what? It's back
it's
behind
right,
you.
it's right above us. Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't even realize that, dude.
clever.
Saludos Laredo. Tag that shit when you see this video, dude.
Yeah. I'm curious too about like, so we're in the brewery right now. We're in the tap room,
Right.
Where we're recording at the moment. But you behind you have a diagram of what you're anticipating the setup to be like here in terms of the actual like brewing.
That would be a brew house. Basically.
Right.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's behind me or behind us is the actual the tanks that brew the beer. So you brew the beer, and then from that point, it transfers over to some fermenters that is not pictured here. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of fucking stainless steel in this.
It's gonna look like a Walter White lab. So
Got a mad scientist in the
yeah, that was the first thing I thought when I saw the clear like
Trust
stainless
me,
steel.
The first couple of weeks of brewing at his house in the garage,
You felt like
they were,
fucking
no, they
Walter
were
White.
giving me the eye like, what these two cats are doing down there?
These motherfuckers out here making mess.
What's going on over there? And then they will by, hi neighbor, how you doing there?
Yeah. As soon as they find out we're brewing beer, they're like, "Oh, you guys are brewing beer? Let me come hang out."
For real.
Like, so we can start drinking in here. Like, yeah, all right, guys, yeah.
Cool, it's not that shady.
Walk us through that. Like when you were doing home brews, like obviously now you've got I would imagine kind of dialing in on like a recipe, a formula to follow. Like home brews, was it just like trial and error? Well, a lot of it.
Right. So usually, like when you start homebrewing, you usually just buy homebrewing kits. So it's already like a pre-assembled. There's X amount of grains, there's X amount of hops, there's yeast that you can order, and you basically just follow a recipe. Like if you're cooking like cookies or some shit, right? Baking some cookies. So that was the beginning, probably also for Kenny too.
Yeah, my very first 3 probably, and then I went to the mountain.
Yeah.
You know,
so
you learn, and you're like, no, I want more malts in this. I want more alcohol in it. How I do that? Make your own recipe.
Right.
Yeah.
So the homebrewing part, like usually for most people, at least for me, also, and maybe even for Kenny, like it usually starts in the kitchen. You get some pots and pans, and you fucking start cooking beer. And
Why wasn't happy about it?
yeah,
She was not happy about it.
It sounds like it would take
was
up
not happy.
a lot of space, right? Is it?
It's a lot of mess, mate. Especially
Yeah.
in the beginning.
yeah, it's
So-
more of a mess than anything.
And you take over the kitchen, so go figure. So yeah, we had great wives.
But yeah, when
I mean, yeah, like we're here now, so fuck yeah. Shout out to great wives. Cheers.
Saludos.
Cheers. Yeah. So yeah, when we started going, like we started thinking, let's take this a little bit more professionally. We bought basically a miniature version of what's behind me.
Okay.
And it's set up in my garage. My garage is built out like a bar. Like it's got AC and a restroom, and it's a pretty cool little spot. And so I decided to make that like our pilot area, which is where we're brewing the beers that we're drinking tonight. And that is essentially the birth of what is to come. Because what is to come is not going to be brewed in a garage, like on a small scale. Like it's going to be on a larger scale, so we can send some to Cultura and to other bars and restaurants locally, and hopefully we can even send some out to.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, dude! I can already imagine the whole.
I can't wait for that. I remember I can see like special glasses and limited edition glassware.
Yes, please, let's do it.
Yeah, well, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
Right on.
Idea like Saludos from Laredo, right? Like, dude, let's fucking put Laredo on this beer map, man. Like, we got breweries in the valley. Like, why the fuck not in Laredo?
Dude, fucking 100%. I remember, like, Chris, I don't know if you recall, but one of, like, when you guys were transitioning from where Frontera is now to where Cultura is now, you guys were on the podcast, and then we were talking about breweries and all this shit, and it's just so crazy. That was what, like 2018, maybe 2019?
It was actually 2018, yeah.
Right? Dude, it's so crazy, and I was telling you this yesterday where, like me, obviously I'm not fucking into brewing or anything, but I love beer in general. And one of my experiences was like going to see my homies out in Austin so much, and we would just brewery hop. Yeah, like so many different fucking breweries on the same block, or let's fucking go to Jester's out in the fucking country or whatever. And I remember being like, dude, this would be so fucking dope to just have back in Laredo, just like another something else to do. You know, 'cause as it already is, a lot of people always say like, "There's nothing to fucking do." Now with COVID, that's a little bit truer than it was before, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's just exciting to see like Laredo growing in that way. You know, like fucking fangirling about it. And right now we're drinking. Well, I'm drinking at least the Saludos Amber.
Same.
And it's fucking great, man. It's like really, really solid. Can we talk a little bit about this brew? Like, what's the secret sauce?
Or we can go through like each of the ones on the flight because
that's true, right?
Very pretty.
They
right?
do. They do look super.
But
nice.
so like the amber is this the amber colored one, right?
Right.
But yeah, like walk us through kind of like the differences and Chris, if you want to jump in with your expertise there too.
Okay. now?
Yes, Chrisify it or Dave or whoever.
Let the people know.
You know, the beer flights are 4 beers. Tonight we've only got 3 because we're still doing all the trial and error stuff. But I would say for sure, aside from these 3, we have another 4 solid recipes that we just haven't had a chance to brew yet.
Drink it.
Like, let's taste it, make sure it's right, and then oh shit, we drank the whole thing.
Yeah, we have at least 4 that are solid recipes. Some that need tweaking, some that we know are like
set.
We're set on those. And then these are still trial and error versions. But I think for the most part, I think we nailed them pretty good.
Yeah, just to give you a heads up, that'll be the American Stout. This is going to be American Amber, and then your Pale Ale, the classical one, or hoppy.
This is like the true fucking American trio here. American Pale Ale, American Amber Ale, American Stout.
Yeah. Just go to the classics. Those beers, it doesn't matter. If you drink beer, you see so many variations nowadays. Hazy stuff, gancitos stuff, or whatever. Yeah, excellent beers, too. I mean, I give kudos to everybody who try something crazy like that.
For sure.
Gancitos and a beer. Yeah. But it's done. In the valley, it's done. But we like to stick to the classics, and then we want to expand the flavor from there. That's all I told Dave. Let's go back to the classic. Let's do our golden ale. Let's make an amber. Let's make a pale ale. Let's work on a stout. And if people like it, and we are adventurous, one day, I don't know, let's make some pan dulce or concha or pan I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I'm down.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
We're taking a peek behind the curtain right now.
Some panos beer.
Everything's possible. Why not? Why not?
Yeah,
Why
sounds
not?
very good.
Even somebody request me a kimchi beer.
Okay, that's crazy.
You'll be surprised.
Gnarly ass
That's the name of
farts.
the person.
Yes. I think I have an idea.
Chris,
I hope he's watching.
Chris, you're currently sipping on the amber. Like,
That's correct,
what do you what's your take?
It's delicious. It's really good. You get that slight roastiness from the malt. Is that what you guys? Yeah, there's the malt in here. And then what I really like about it is clean. It's not overbearing. I've had a few ambers which is kind of like it's too much flavor.
Obnoxious, really.
It's obnoxious. Or
like somebody yelling in your mouth.
Much. Like, don't put so much.
It's
into
at
it.
5%. By the
I have
way.
to applaud these guys for doing classic recipes like this because if you can't nail these beers, then you're not gonna do it right.
Yeah.
Like this, like a stout like this, American stout. This is a base from whereas you can start putting in your gancitos or whatever. So you have your basic just basic beer. That's what it is right now. But I've had. We don't have it today, but I was fortunate to try the mango wheat that these guys made a few weeks
really?
back. Wow.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
That's going to be a summer beer.
Sometimes we get adventurous.
Yeah,
that might be nice by the pool.
Right,
wheat,
absolutely.
It was phenomenal. It was really freaking good. But back to this amber. This is what, 5.4?
5.4.
Yeah, I have the specs on my computer. I can pull it up.
Pop it open.
Well,
Let's
this
see that
amber,
little-
yeah, we do add a little bit more maltiness.
Yeah.
And I talked to you before. What is an amber ale? We were talking about it.
Yeah.
Expecting those maltiness flavor.
Yeah.
Reflects right on the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Not in the color when you taste it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's for me. That's a standard, and that's what I go by my
In the
beer. He
aroma.
knows.
In the
I'm super
aroma.
picky about beers. If you tell me that's gonna be a pale ale. Okay, it's gonna be a little bitter, not overpowering, not a West Coast IPA, which is pungent.
Yeah.
It's like punching your stomach, but I
Yeah.
love it. Or your stout. American style needs to be roasted, you know, and that's what we go by the beer. I like to stick to those flavors, and I think probably that's what for us we refer more success on the recipe making, because that's beers I've been drinking for who knows since legally I can be drinking.
Maybe even before then, allegedly. Allegedly.
Puerto Rico, so it's legal down there when you're 18.
Shit, there you go.
So,
There you go.
So go figure.
Yeah.
But yes, for me, this is like a dream, and then that's the beers I like. That's the beer I enjoy. That's the beer I can have you guys, friends over here, you know, and then you order some hamburgers or whatever, and boom, I want that with my burger.
Yeah,
That's
an
how we
an American amber with an American cheeseburger. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck
Right?
yeah, that sounds good.
Why not?
So for reference, that amber ale is a 5.2%.
Okay, nice.
So
There you
that's
go.
It's
pretty
not gonna
solid.
fucking
That's wonderful.
put you on your ass right away, but it's got a set of balls on it.
You gotta give it a whiff, man. The aroma's fantastic. Going back to the malts of it,
You're
you
right.
get it off the bat. You smell the maltiness of the beer, and then when you consume it, it's real clean. It's a real quick punch of flavor. It brings you back to wanting to get some more because
It feels good in your
that,
mouth.
Yeah, you want to recall that flavor. It's really freaking good, man.
Yeah, so
Wow.
on the maltiness of it, I think most of it's coming from we got caramel crystal malt in there, some amber malt, and then the base of it is just a 2-row, which is pretty standard for most beers. The hops are pretty nice, man. We got some Centennial and Amarillo in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
We have it has its fair amount of hops to it.
Yeah.
They were not.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah,
It
does,
just and that's a beauty and the terror of making beer. Yeah, you have the
Balance.
software. It looks nice, all the colors, all the frame, and you brew, and then you're like, what's gonna happen? Then you gotta wait at least 14 days.
Fuck.
And then you take gravity. Oh, it's done. You try. It's flat, so it doesn't taste nice. Take notes on that, guys. And then you carbonate it. Oh wow.
Really changes the flavor.
Or
Yeah.
just call everybody because I don't like it. And he look at me because I don't say anything, and he's like, "Do you like it? You hate it?" And I don't say anything just to mess with him.
You only comment when it's really
Yeah,
good.
give me that little pause. So he's like, "Oh my god, he don't like it."
So I'd say like you get that base before carbonation, and I guess like the carbonation really brings out the taste.
Oh,
Is that what-
absolutely.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
part. It's fundamental when it comes to beer making.
Yeah, because I would imagine like that the carbonation also is like simultaneously bringing out like the aroma.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of
That-
tasting
the
it
head-
too.
All that
Yeah.
head retention, it kind of reflects with that carbonation, the creaminess, like this.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit because I feel like it's creamy on your tongue a bit, but like not overly creamy. But it just has a great consistency.
That's like car feels.
Yeah, like I hadn't had an amber that feels like this in my mouth. You know what I mean? I know, very innuendo-y. I'm just
I
trying
love
to.
that
No,
cream.
that's an honest review.
Yeah. Let's get into this flight because I've only tried the amber.
Yeah,
since I'm dying.
I tried the amber yesterday when we were doing a little test, a little setup, right? But David kept asking me like, "You want another beer?" And I was like, "Stop asking me." Like,
Yeah.
I want to wait until tomorrow. Give you an honest, like, save it for the podcast.
Yeah. So this will be like a super first try camera reaction from at least us. I don't know. I mean, Chris, maybe you've probably already tried all these, right?
Earlier. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
You tried all of them already, Chris?
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm gonna smell
Couldn't
this one
wait,
first.
man.
This is the
Couldn't
pale, right?
Yeah, that's the
I
American
don't blame
pale
you.
ale right there. Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Can we get a little shot of this?
Can we get? Yeah, let's pull in here. This
Yes.
is
So the American Pale Ale that you guys are holding there, that's a 5.4%. We should have
Oh, it smells great.
about 35 IBUs.
Okay. Yeah. Cheers.
IBU is
Saludos.
bitterness.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gonna be a little bitterness. It's not your IPA. It's not an IPA yet. So, and that's what we want to also to tell people. Laredo is more than your typical. I get it. Your brisket beer. Your
What do you think, Roger? It's pretty bitter.
Beer,
Yeah. It's got. And I
something
actually
else too.
like. I
Yes.
dig pale ales.
Same.
I'll go straight for like IPAs, honestly.
100%.
But especially like the hazy ones, the hazy and what is it, juicy IPAs?
Juicy
I
IPAs,
really-
that's it.
those are some of my favorites. But this is just like a clean, like, you know, before it's graduated kind of taste, and
Yes,
That's
and
a good way of
it's
putting it.
That's
Absolutely.
absolutely. That's what it is.
The
It's
smell
right
of it is
before becoming an
amazing.
IPA.
It smells great.
Yes.
It smells like I'm about to take a giant bite of a
So-
marijuana bud or something.
What what you're smelling there is the main hop of this beer, which is we used Galaxy hops. So what we did is we dry hopped it 14 days into fermenting. So as it sat in the tank for 14 days, we added some Galaxy hops, and that's what really brings out that aroma and that bitterness.
Yeah, basically the tropical flavor you get into it.
Yeah.
Can we stuff you're getting like a honey melon flavor in the back?
Yeah, that's what I was just
That's
saying
coming
there.
from the hops.
That excuse me. So in you were mentioning right now like the process of that, like dry hopping. What exactly is the difference between like a Galaxy hop and like what would be what the other hops that you mentioned?
Hops is another galaxy.
Oh, so it's
when it
just
comes to
There's so many hops, man.
there's so many hops now there. They're developing crazy things every day. United States is not behind. Trust me, they're leading, especially Yakima Valley in Washington State. And now, because of juicy IPAs that you mentioned earlier, they don't want bitterness alone. They want that tropical flavors on the beer.
Right.
To get those hops to infuse that flavor, mostly it's done when it's dry hopping. Basically, the beer the wort is in the tank, and when the beer starts fermenting, they add a lot of chingos of hops, like a lot of hops on it, and they're expecting not to get that beer to be bitter, more like that juiciness that you get into it. Also, that typical orange juice color that you get into the beer, it comes from that.
So I guess
it's a pretty looking beer too, man.
Yeah, it is.
Like
it's beautiful. It's
And
beautiful.
that's one of
These
those
lights right
beers
here.
that a New England IPA was born in the States.
Right.
Europeans don't know about that.
About the what again?
The New
England
IPAs,
IPAs.
New England
Oh,
IPAs.
yeah.
That was created here in the United States.
I think I've only tried one New England IPA that was at Cultura, maybe like a year and a half back or two. I forgot which one it was.
Hell, what was it? I go to we bring so many beers in.
Yeah, dude. So
it
many.
might have been in Modern Times. No, they do more West Coast. Obviously, they're from California. Actually, I just brought one in from I don't even know the brewery. I'm sorry. It just came in recently, and I bought it just off the truck. Hey, have this. You want to take it? What is it, Nipa? Yeah, I'll take this fucking beer. Bring it in. I haven't even had it yet. Oh, Rough Tail. It's from Rough Tail.
Okay. Shout out Rough Tail.
Rough Tail, a Nipa. Yeah, I haven't had it yet, but they make some really good beers. Their hazes are fantastic. Rough Tail, and it's a brewery that I had never heard of before, and I just started bringing them in about 6 months ago, and everything I've had from them is really good.
Yeah. That's a super complicated beer, by the way, to make.
Really?
I just wanted to circle back on the whole like subject of hops, just because like would a good way to like compare it, would it be say like coffee, right? Like coffee beans, like you've got like from different areas, they've got different acidity to the soils. So like
that will be your hops will be the equivalent of the coffee beans.
Interesting. Definitely. Cool.
I was totally thinking like marijuana strains.
I was like, kind of, because hops are related to
the pot.
To pot.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought. Okay, I was like, they don't just look alike. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like best first cousins.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Like that liter cones.
Yeah, I was like, you guys look suspicious. But let's throw it in a beer.
Are we cousins or what?
So it's watching the state, so everything's possible.
Yeah, man.
Crossbreeding something, who knows?
Yeah, sure. Like everything from like CBD beers coming out, and like
You guys had the Sweetwater, the G13 420, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Dang.
Straight up just tastes like fucking skunk.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let me pour that shit in cycles. Dude, I walk in, I'm like, man, who the fuck is smoking weed?
Yeah. I remember specifically having that. Yeah, I remember walking in and just like,
it's the beer, dude.
It's just the beer. It's what it is.
It tasted pretty fucking. It tasted. It's a weird, interesting. Like it was definitely probably like an acquired taste, I think, but it good nonetheless. I think real kind of like.
It's a very interesting beer. I still love that beer. Yeah, I like that beer a lot.
Pretty fucking solid.
Like I say, it's a big market for beer, you know.
Yeah.
And you always we explained you can start with your blanket, and I can change the hops of this beer.
Yeah.
It's a Galaxy. I can do Citra. I can do more Centennial. Can do you name it, Calypso, and then you have a brand new beer. Just because I switched the hops. That's the beauty about beer making.
Yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, that's like I said, huge nerd for that. So I was gonna say, what about y'all have plans? I want to know. You got to have a plan for like a Mexican lager or something.
Oh,
right?
fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. I think the better term would be a Tex-Mex lager.
Okay, great.
Just being where we're at, right? A lot of Tex-Mex food everywhere, so
I feel like it'd be a staple. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I've always told Kenny, I was like, dude, it'd be cool to use like Texas grains, and I don't know if like Mexico grows any hops, but like use some Mexican
We can
hops.
get hops in San Antonio. I know somebody's growing down there.
So there you go. Maybe some all Texas based ingredients, and just do a traditional Mexican style beer and call it a fucking Tex-Mex lager.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely in the works, man.
It just
we've
takes
talked
so
about it.
long to get a proper lager.
Oh yeah, so
Right.
let's
It's
talk about.
not, it's not just simple beer, believe it or not.
Maybe
I
that's
know people tend to see lagers like, well, it's like beer.
Right.
Guess
Dude.
what? That's the most complicated one.
Oh, really?
Really?
That's what I
Yes.
hear. Yeah.
So
and then
basically,
it takes more
beers
time and energy.
beers come down to two categories. You have ales and you have lagers. So typically, most breweries stick to ales for the reason that it's just a burn and turn. You know, it's 12, 14 days in the fermenter and then into kegs and it's ready to drink. Whereas a lager, like, dude, that shit could be in a fermenter for 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes longer.
For lagering process, just to clear the beer out.
Yeah.
So just think of that. Like, if you got a brewery that's just starting out and they have, like in our case, we're getting 5 fermenters. You have just one of those fermenters full of a lager. Like, dude, 6 to 8 weeks, like, we could have got out like 3 to 4 other brews out that were just ales. So everything we're drinking tonight is an ale, by the way.
Right.
And you have to run it cold too. Like for lagering, it has to be at least 32 degrees. So go figure when it's 120,
fermentation, right?
110 Laredo. Yeah. So that glycol will be running 24/7. But yes, it's possible.
Yeah,
and we want to do it.
Yeah, we're
I think
going
it's
to
a
do it.
beautiful style to develop and work with. It will be more our logistics basically.
Before we move on to another one of these, because I do want to get onto the flight still. But before we move on to any of these others, what is are you looking to like name these? Are these gonna have like some cool like names in here?
Fuck yeah, dude. Of course they are.
Because we've got the perfect name for
Yeah,
your
we've got
lager.
the perfect one.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay, so look.
I'm just joking here today. We should call this one La Suegra.
Got a little bite to it, right?
Dude, that's a fucking dope name.
You either love it, you hate it.
That's great.
Sorry, Mom.
La Suegra, dude. That's a fucking baller name.
Just to preface this, and I would love to just kind of like shop it. If maybe not this, but like definitely a summer beer. We had a conversation with our friends from Austin, who, like Chris, have introduced us to a whole bunch of like different beers that like aren't available here. It's like, but just off the top of my head, Kung Fu Robot is one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Thirsty
Full
Goat.
Grown Hombre. Have you ever
Full Grown Hombre. Have you ever tried one of
Haven't
those?
tried that.
That's
Yeah.
a
It's like a blueberry pastry beer. It is amazing,
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's insane.
But every time that we have these kind of conversations, we go into like, yes, stouts, ales, that kind of stuff. But like, we kind of break it down to like, would this be nice by the pool? Right. And we always wanted to just kind of like zone in on having like a beer named just Nice by the Pool, right? Because it's like, it reflects that like, oh, this is something like maybe a session ale, maybe something where you're just like maybe even a Rattler or something like that, but like something that you're kicking back to, you know, throw in a couple
it's
beers
nice
by
by
the
the
pool.
You can
It's
take
nice
like
by
a
the
12
pool.
pack and drink the whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
an afternoon or
so
an evening.
Down for it. We always play with names. We always make jokes out. Like
And
our
guess what?
internal name for this will be our cerveza negra. You know how people, dark beer,
Yeah.
cerveza
Right.
negra is too strong. No,
Yeah.
it's nice one, bro.
The
Drink
stouts are my favorite, so I'm
Same.
saving
Stouts
that
and
one for
porters,
last because
that's where I'm
I know
at.
it's just stouts and porter seasons. Like that's my this season's my favorite season. I always
dude.
stick to those.
We're in the stout and porter season for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got the chilliness outside, and the whole like concept of the name that we just pitched out there. We also have like we're starting in a segment of the show that is called Nice by the Pool. So essentially, Roger and I go to a bunch of different breweries around Texas, and we certify their beers as Nice by the Pool, or not. You know what I mean?
There was a whole other concept. There's a whole other concept that we weren't sure is going to be achievable, but there was hey, shouts out to our director Andrew, who's helping us out with all of this.
What's up, Andrew?
Maybe this is something
And
for
Jason over there.
something. Yeah, shout out to all the crew that's here right now. Jason and Angel.
Angel?
But one of the things that we wanted to do, which we may or may not know is achievable, but we wanted to do a podcast while we're sitting in the pool and just like submerged halfway with a mic and just talking and having beer.
It's doable. We got the thumbs up.
We got
It's
the thumbs
fucking
up.
doable.
Hey, there you go. Next next one.
Just get an
Please
inflatable,
invite
hold
me.
those teens and set on.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, you guys have to.
Okay, so before we move on to the next one, I had another question. And this is more, again, going back here to like the plans for the brewery. Yesterday, David, you and I were talking a little bit about like what you want like the layout to kind of be like, because you do want to have like not just so much like the beer drinkers, but people who are going to be here kind of kicking with their family,
right?
Trying, exclusively, because you're only going to have Saludos on tap here, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So walk us through those plans, Kenny, David.
As much as you can reveal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So where we're sitting is the tap room. Where the bar is basically is the division between the tap room and the brewery. So the idea when we started demolishing in here and turning it into what is going to be the brewery, I thought like, dude, I want anybody in here, no matter where they're sitting or standing, they can see where it's made. So anywhere that you sit or stand in this tap room, like you're going to have a full access of a full viewing access of all the stainless steel and all the the equipment that we use to make the beer that you're drinking. But yeah, the idea here is like not to be like a fucking party place, dude. Like, I have a family and I like going to places that serve craft beer that is family friendly. Cultura like knocks it out with that all the time. And I've been there a couple times with one or both of my kids. And it's cool, dude. Like,
me too. He knows well.
Yeah. The idea here is like yeah, you're gonna come and hang out. You'll leave with a buzz, but it's a family-friendly environment. There'll be music and hey, like kids, watch out. There's people saying fuck and shit everywhere because they're fucking drinking. But outside, we have a canopy that's going up, and the city gave us permission for 2 food trucks.
Okay.
One which is already like solidified. They'll be here. And the other one, I don't know if we'll bring another one in or not, but it's nice to have that option. We didn't do a kitchen because we really want to focus on
brewing.
Yeah, we just want to focus on what we're making and fuck food, man. Like, I don't want to fucking handle food. Beer's enough, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking cleaning involved in beer.
You clean more than you brew, believe it or not.
Yeah. I can imagine.
trust me.
It's probably like a 20-80 ratio. It's like 20% brewing, 80% cleaning.
100% reason to remember the name.
That was awesome Thursday night. We transferred some beer and stuff, and then we're like, let's go clean.
No, you gotta like
tanks.
step inside one of those tanks and already scrub it down, or what's going on
once
there?
Once the big boy system comes in,
1 liter
yeah, it's got its
spray-
own like
sprayer
self-cleaning system.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
But
Fuck yeah.
our level right now, we have to do everything by hand. So yes.
Yeah, break
I ju-
everything down and all.
I just went from like drinking the pale ale to like taking the last sip of this amber, and then I just thought about what you guys were saying was in it, and I, for any reason or another, I feel like the caramel, however you want to say it, like stood out a little bit more.
Right.
Like,
Yes. Right.
it's fucking crazy. It tastes so good. It's just great. And
Yeah, I
it's,
can see what you're
That's what
saying.
we're hopping
right?
for.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking great. And speaking of which, let's hop on over
Move
to
down the line.
yeah.
Oh,
We've
behind, sorry.
Okay.
we've talked a little bit about this one already, but get a shot of this
Yeah,
of
you
the
can do
color
a
there.
little-
Look at the color there. Definitely amber, the color of
Super.
your energy, right?
Amber is the color of your energy. Whoa. Rainstorm.
That's the thing with beers, when
So
you have
good.
it fresh off the keg and it's cold, most kegs or kegerators would be like 34, 35 degrees. If you get a cold beer, it tastes different as opposed to when you get it, it's poured and it's sitting here for a while.
Right.
So now that I'm drinking this one, like, yeah, you get more of the caramel.
Right? Yeah, okay.
You do.
You're not masking
Yeah,
flavors,
the
believe it or not.
The beer, the
Aerates.
coldness kind of stills, kind of not freezes, but kind of it stills the flavors. You still get flavor, and you want to have cold beer. We're in Laredo, we get a little bit of winter here, but for the most part, it's freaking hot out here.
Right.
So you want an ice cold beer, but sometimes, especially with stouts, I always tell Valerie this,
Let it
just
sit.
let it sit. Like take a little sip, try it
100%.
cold, let it sit, and then let it warm up a little bit, and the flavors blossom. They really do. And now that I'm having this beer, which is it's still cold, but it's not as cold as off the keg. It's been sitting here for maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, more or less.
It tastes different now.
No freeze your glass, guys. It's wrong. Don't
It
do
tastes
that.
different.
I mean, is
You're
there
masking the flavors.
is there
Fantastic.
beers that you would think like, let me get it colder will taste better? Like maybe like lagers and stuff. Do you
Lagers
think
for
colder
sure.
tastes better?
Lager for sure.
Okay.
But when it comes to these type of ales,
Yeah.
it does take a benefit of actually like this.
Yeah.
I'm expecting this stout I served what?
Oh, dude, I'm so excited to get there.
45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
To be
Let it
completely
sit.
different.
Yeah. And those
Just
flavors
sitting there.
blossom. And it's a different experience. Same beer, different experience.
And Chris, actually, you were the first one to kind of put me on drinking beers in different glasses because you taught me everything from like one of my favorites, Nitro brews, right?
Yeah,
We talked.
the
I remember
hard pour.
specifically,
The
you were like the
hard
pour.
pour.
You got to
Hard
get
pour
the
is a
pour.
beautiful
That's
one.
a hard pour. Just flip, invert immediately, get all that in there,
that cascade
and then
coming
get the
down.
cascade. Yeah, absolutely. So you taught me all that. I remember people made fun of me for that on stage because we were doing a podcast like this. We were doing a 40F on at
What was it?
Cultura.
A left-handed one?
It was Nitro Stout. I forget what.
The Merlin?
No, it wasn't the Merlin.
It was probably the left hand.
Left hand. Oh,
feel like
shit.
It was in the bigger can. I forget the name of it. But
Okay, the Galactic Cowboy.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
15 ounce can, yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. That was
So-
one of the best ones.
So we did hard pour. Talked about all that. What's I've actually you know what's cool. Also, this is my first flight ever. My first one.
Really?
Yeah. First time flyer. Yeah. I mean, there was just
Any brewery you go to?
Yeah,
flight first.
yeah. I've just
sure.
I don't join these guys. I'm not invited to their fucking
He's
brewery
not.
hops.
We don't like having this asshole.
That's- no, whenever they head out, I'm like busy doing something else, whatever. I've done comedy at breweries, and I've actually did one in what was it in Freetail at San Antonio.
Yes.
They had Hoppy Endings. That was one of their comedy shows they had there, and it was but I just never as a comic, they send you out there and they're like, you're getting $40 and that's just for like gas. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stretch it. Right? So just never really like sit down and like try that. But yeah, so like what's are y'all planning to kind of go that stretch also, like kind of honoring the kind of glasses that you think are gonna like really bring it out a little bit more, or is this just gonna be like off the tap and straight
Most
to
of the other beers here will be straight in a pint glass.
Yeah.
You ask me, but when it comes to the proper beer, if it requires a sniffer like an Imperial Style or something like that, I know you're gonna sip that. We're gonna get those.
Yeah,
We're definitely, because that's the only way. And plus, there's no way you're gonna enjoy an Imperial Stout in a big pint glass.
yeah.
It will mess you
I'll
up.
enjoy anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
that's
you
it.
will.
Drink that shit out of a
Don't
fucking
take
drink it out the
do
tap.
at home. But I sent him photos, and I go back, probably in my house, I'll go buy 7 different type of glasses at night.
Right.
He's like, what you doing?
Trying to drink this correctly.
And it'll tell you
it's
too,
more,
like
it's more for the
Yeah.
aroma and the experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
that's
So-
all what it is.
What when I came across like doing the snifter things was like at the Alamo Draft House.
Yeah.
The very first Imperial Style that I had was from Prairie Artisan Ales, the Birthday Bomb. One of the still one of my favorites to this day. I remember like not 2022 or 2021, but 2020. I bought that holiday pack from Specs. Fucking great, dude. They had the Christmas bomb, the fucking birthday bomb, and a couple of other ones that were in there, and they're just so fucking good.
Dude, that Christmas bomb is crazy. I had to clean my line. I just tapped it out. I had it for Christmas, and it lingered on to January, and I was just like, okay, fire sale. $4 a pint. Hell of a deal. And it sold really
Super,
quick.
dude.
And then I had to clean that line out because it was just like so rich of a beer. I had to clean that line like 4 times, man. Just to get that cinnamon flavor out of it, and and I tapped a Mexican lager. I was like, yeah, if I had to clean that line multiple times, it would still get a little bit of that cinnamon off of that line, off of that pour.
I finished my Imperial Stout, one of my home brews at home in December, and it took me a while to clean my lines too.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
I could
Just
imagine.
to clean the
'cause
lines. I have of course I have a caterer at home.
Yeah.
But yes, clean the lines. He knows.
Yeah.
I've been teaching.
Yeah,
him
we're
to
gonna
do.
have fun with this one too. When we
Hell
tap out.
yes.
Let me finish this so we can make our way down.
the
Well, that's part of
which
the
one was the one,
experience.
Chris, from Goose Island, the bourbon barrel aged stout?
Yes,
that
we had the
one.
2018, I think, when we.
I have a 2019 still. I'm like holding on to it. I'm holding on to it.
17
Yeah.
and 18, 19, 20, 21. I have all those years in a row.
Really,
No shit.
dude.
I have 2 2019s at the house. They're really good. As a matter of fact, when we had that beer, we were
The
doing,
first time.
Yes.
We were doing a tester at his old studio.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we didn't have no bullshit bullshit fucking glassware.
No, we were using the little
We were
plastic
like
cups
little
and
solo
shit, dude.
cups.
Yeah.
Really good
The
beer
fuck,
bags.
not even real solo cups. The great value cups.
I think it was solo cups.
We did it here
sure.
too.
I think we're outside smoking a cigarette.
No,
or something. There you go,
At the
man.
beer tasting, I brought one for we're done one of the beer tasting, and this is an Imperial Stout.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
a
pretty.
17, right? The
Yeah, it was
bottle
pretty
I
cool,
brought.
man. Yeah,
17, dude. I opened that bottle this year.
drinking like a 5-year-old beer. It was pretty badass, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they just get better, man.
Yeah,
I was about to
and-
say, it probably
Dude.
tasted amazing. right?
yeah, it was pretty good.
Or is it like last weekend? And then maybe we can talk a little bit about like what you guys are seeing in terms of like, and I want kind of like each individual perspective in terms of like the culture for like craft beer and how it's changing here. And obviously, you guys are gonna be each one of you guys each huge influences on what that's gonna be like here in Laredo. But like my friends, for example.
This is essentially the zeitgeist right here.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. Actually, you know what? No, last weekend, I called Chris. I was like, "Hey, can I introduce my friends to craft beer?" Because I had given them
An earful of like,
no, what
stop
was it?
being
The
a
the
fucking asshole and get on
Miami
this shit.
Vice, the Miami Vice.
Okay, slushy.
Yeah, the
From
slushy
903,
beer
yeah.
from 903, right?
Yeah.
And they loved it, and I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, then, like, that's craft beer because they're all Bud Light, Michelob. No offense
Oh,
to
wow, so they went from drinking
They
Bud
went,
Light
yeah,
to slushy?
dude. No, not even just that. I went and I
Good, but
I went to Cultura. I went to Cultura and I picked up a sixer
Nice.
of like different beers for them to try. I think it
Did
was
you
like
get the rainbow sherbet and
I
the
did.
the musical?
The rainbow sherbet was their favorite. I think the musico it was
fantastic.
like second.
those
But they
are really
definitely loved 903. Now they know that. But
Nice.
I took the Goose Island, but we were like too far gone to enjoy that one. I think at the end.
I think 14%.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't gonna. I told him I was
Almost
like,
wine, essentially, dude.
I was like, I'll know where we're at after we've tried all these beers, and I'll know whether to crack
pop
this
this
one
one up.
open or not, right? And so I didn't. I'm still saving it for a
Save it
good
for a-
occasion. But yeah. So that to my friends, like previously, they were just like, I don't want to try it. It's like it sounds like I think what I've seen a recurring thing through people who are just trying craft beer for the first time. It's two beers that I feel like they've all tried, and that's Hopadillo, and what's the other one? And El Chingon.
Oh,
They always those are their introductory beers, and I'm like, those are
That's a
kind of
wrong beers to
heavy.
start.
Yeah,
No,
man.
that's
Yes.
a brewery. I love those beers.
Yeah,
They're but like
But-
entry level.
Yeah,
Damn,
No,
son.
I wouldn't give that to anybody on my
Yeah,
friends. And,
let's start
Yeah,
off with like
it's
a wheat or
a
something.
Love Street maybe.
I'll
A
do
little
that.
Love
Easy
Street.
they're easy to find. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so out there, especially LNF, or just the distributors in general that just push those beers, and you find them at convenience stores.
Yeah.
Right.
They're readily available anywhere.
You know what I've noticed? Like I went to Specs, and immediately afterwards I went to the Gucci B HEB on
Shout out to Gucci B.
and I went and I actually liked the selection at HEB better than I did at Specs.
It's gotten better.
You know what?
It's-
Everyone keeps telling me that.
It was they
Everyone keeps
had
telling me
Yeah,
that.
Tristan and Ceci, they've been doing a great job. Both the
Yeah.
HEB
Yeah.
Plus and
That's
the
true.
HEB in Delmar.
Yeah, that's
They've
true.
been pay attention to our comments.
right.
What we want to.
Yeah.
They've been the great job.
They
But
have been.
that's another thing about Saludos. Now you expose that, bringing your friends. That's why we are here in this type
Yeah.
of flight. I want to bring the experience to somebody probably drank Budweiser all his life. I probably cannot take that Budweiser away from him. Right. And that's fine. That's your beer to go when you're doing carnitas, tripas, barbacoa, or brisket in the backyard.
Right.
Of course, you need a beer to last just 14 hours, whatever it takes. But you get your pale ale. Maybe he enjoy it. Maybe you enjoy an amber. Or maybe he's more adventurous and you try the stout. That's the experience we want to bring here with Saludos. To tell people it's more than Budweiser. No offense.
Yeah, no offense.
You know,
Or
it's
Michelob
just-
Ultra.
You can.
Or
you-
Michelob Ultra.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Aaron.
I'm fine. I'm fine if you get your 24 pack of Miller or whatever. But if you come and visit us and have a couple beers, why not?
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah.
Craft beer has something for you. Trust me.
100%.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be hoppy. It doesn't have to be super strong. It's something out there for everybody. And we talk about this several times. That's what Saludos experience is meant to be.
Going back to the Mexican lagers, a lot of breweries are doing Mexican lagers. And some are good, some are bad, some are really fucking good.
Didn't Shiner come out with one recently?
They had it a few summers back, their cerveza.
Yeah.
That was nice. I like that one. The one I'm really digging right now, it's not from Texas, it's from San Diego. It's called Calidad beer. That's it. I
Calidad?
think
Yeah,
they
that
only
one
make
good.
one.
No, they make one.
I think that's all they do. Just that one beer.
One beer.
But it's fucking
But they got it
amazing.
locked in.
Pretty good.
It's
Where did
really good.
Where did Youngling come from, or Youngling come
Yingling,
from?
that's the oldest brewery in the
Came
States.
from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
I
that's
feel
right.
like it was. I feel like I went
Pennsylvania.
from like not ever hearing about it at
To
all
now it's
to now
everywhere.
it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, they pushed it hard in Texas. They were slowly making their way towards the West Coast, which they still are. I think 2 years ago they were in Mississippi, Louisiana. It was bound to happen. They were going to do a Texas takeover, and it happened last year. I believe last year or this year.
Last
year.
Yeah, like as we were
No, they
coming
went
into
hard.
like the second
They
half
went
of the
really
year,
hard.
started
They were
seeing
everywhere.
chingos.
Remember,
Texas,
you're
yeah.
in Texas. It takes like a chingos of years to just
Yeah, Texas
drive
could be its
out
own
of the
country.
state.
It should be.
Right.
You know, me coming from Tennessee, I can tell you.
That's
so,
true.
by the way, I love Texas. I would live all my life in Texas. But
Shout out Texas.
it's a big, big state.
Absolutely.
And it's hard, and he can tell you. It's hard to get those craft beer down here, especially in South Texas, even worse.
Oh yeah, we're
Because the distance,
we had the
beer will
it used to be
last.
at the very end.
Nobody
yeah.
wants to deliver down here. And of course, coming back, we want to bring you that experience having your local brewery down here.
Yes,
David, so like just kind of piggybacking off that conversation in terms of the introductory beers, what would you say, like you personally, like what would you say if you wanted to introduce somebody to the craft beer experience? What would you say was a good drink to start off with?
I would say it depends on what that person normally drinks. So if they're coming around and they're like, yeah, dude, all I drink is Miller, or all I drink is Bud Light, or if all you hear is light, Keystone Light, Tecate Light, whatever fucking light you want, then yeah, dude, I would just say, like, you know what, like, you want an introductory beer to the craft, like, let's start with what you fucking know. You like light, let's give you a fucking light beer, you know.
Get a blonde ale, something.
Yeah, start with a blonde. The blonde ale we developed, and one recipe that we developed, and it's light, you know what I mean? And that's probably where I would start, and then just kind of work the scale up. I don't know if there's any truth to this, but like years ago, man, when like the craft beer scene started moving a lot in Laredo, one of my friends who now works for LNF, he was like, dude, the best way to start your beer like flight is work your way from the lowest ABV to your highest ABV. And I thought, okay, like, is that just like?
Well, I've heard the same, which is why I was saving that like Goose Island for that last one of my friends. But you were saying?
Yeah. So I've done like just on my own, like experimenting, right? Like go from a high ABV to a lower ABV, and it's true, dude. Whatever he said, like I was like it really fucking worked. But yeah, if I was gonna introduce somebody to who's been drinking Bud Light their whole fucking life, like, yeah, let's start you with something light and work your way up. And just start experimenting with those flavors. And I have done that with my friends who are fucking Miller fans or Bud Light or whatever. And most recently, he's not with us right now, but Alex, shout out to Alex Campos. Yeah, he's going to fucking watch this and he's going to hear this. But he's like, dude, I can't do fucking bitter beers, and I can't do dark beers, like
A bit too strong.
and then and then Kenny and I just kept pushing him, like, dude, just fucking try it. And now all he's fucking drinking is stouts. He'll send me pictures in the middle of the night, like, oh, look what I found at AOTB. I was like, cool, dude.
Very cool.
Now he's buying stouts beer.
I started off with
Alex.
I started off with Shiner, and like I think like it was I went from like Bud Light, never really cared for Bud Lights other than like when I was like cooking out with my dad or something like that. But then graduated to like Dos Equis, and I was like, okay, yeah, dig this. And then Shiner took over completely. And then I went and I started trying Cultura when I was back at the San Bernardo location.
Pan American, there you go.
Yeah, Pan American. I tried I think at that point there was like a Shiner. What was it? Was it like a raspberry or something? I don't even remember.
Ruby Redbird, maybe?
Strawberry lager.
Strawberry, maybe.
Yeah, there's also that Ruby Redbird.
The Ruby Red.
That's so
like a
good.
grapefruit.
Yeah, I remember
So good.
trying like those, and I was just like, "What are these variations?" You know, what are these?
On drafts, they were very fresh, man. It was nice.
So and then I don't even know what compelled me. I think it was just I saw a chart where it was like a lot of them were like, oh, porters and stouts. It's where you start getting like coffee notes, you know, very nutty notes too, right? Yeah. Like a lot of pecan and chocolate, right? And I think the first one I tried was the Samuel Smith organic chocolate stout.
Double chocolate stout.
Yeah,
Damn,
chocolate.
bro, that one.
That shit is like a
beer.
fucking
That's a
milkshake.
dessert beer, right?
It's like a shake, yeah.
beer. You
So
close,
in honor of stouts,
Yes.
Yeah, let's
Right.
move on.
move on to the big boy, the premier event for me. I think.
Oh man, it
This
smells
one-
so good already.
This one's not
aroma.
even. You can't see through this.
a black hole.
This right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Just imagine converting these into.
What's the
Oh my god.
ABV on this one?
It's not as high as you would think. It's like it's a 5%. This one here.
It's got great flavor.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
it's-
that.
It's gonna have some roastiness to it.
Oh boy.
A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel, and it's kind of strange. Like you would think maybe there's some coffee in there, but there's no coffee. It's
There's
just
no addition
I was
to
about
this
to
beer.
say that like right
It's all
towards
grains.
the end, you do get that
like
yeah.
that
the
coffee.
roastiness,
Yeah.
the roastiness.
chocolatey notes.
Yeah,
to
but
it.
Yeah.
this beer is all grains. We don't
Wow.
have any additions or any special things.
I think like the aftertaste, I can feel more of like the vanilla, like at the
Yeah.
after.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's the beauty about stouts, and that's why I like it. I mean, we all like. That's the ultimate beer.
It is. I mean, it's my hands down like my favorite style of beer. I think, and there's just so many that are so fucking good, and this one is really fucking good too. Like, damn, this is insane.
Yeah, I was seeing Kenny
Thoroughly
pour-
impressed.
I was seeing Kenny pour one of these earlier, and it was just cascading beautifully like a Guinness. I was like, "What the hell, dude? You guys did this beer? This is amazing."
It's fucking next level, right?
Yeah, it's next level shit.
Super
I was like,
great,
Holy
dude.
crap, that's awesome! And I tried some, and I was like, "What's the ABV on this?" Oh, 5. What the fuck?
It's
You're
accessible.
drinking this warm, by the way.
Yeah, like
People
No, right now it's
think-
the perfect
Yeah,
temperature.
exactly.
my
People
opinion.
think this came straight from the fridge or the kegerator. This is a prop. 30,
It
40
tastes
minutes
great,
last time we
like-
poured it. So it's great,
yeah.
right?
You guys use chocolate malts for this one, right?
Yeah, we
Yes,
did.
we did.
Yeah, they could definitely taste that.
Whenever I just hear like that, like if I hear chocolate malt, I think it's just you
His panties get wet real quick.
No. I hear chocolate malt, and the only thing I can picture is like you got like a hop and dipped it in chocolate and then throw that in the brew. Like I said, no, that's not what it is. But
That's one thing that he's playing to having the brewery right here so close to the tap room. If we're brewing, which at one point I hope people can see when we're brewing, the aromas that you get from the grains when it's brewing, when you're in mash tun, is insane.
Yeah, dude, it's
It's
beautiful,
a different
man.
experience. It will drive you crazy, not in a bad way. Like
I think
what is
people.
that?
I think
That's what
people in
happened to
Laredo.
Alex started that.
They would probably like reference like, smells like tamales in here. Like,
What the hell you guys are cooking down
yeah,
here?
it smells like tamales
Y'all
or
making
like
tortillas or what?
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be a lot of crazy like aromas in the air because you got Organic Man like right down the block, and
dude.
when they're roasting,
Yeah.
it smells fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, and we've got
Hey,
y'all
speaking
over
of
here.
organic, man, you guys should do a collab.
Yeah, I
Ooh,
know.
dude.
With this
Talk
with this
about
stout,
that.
Please
dude.
do. That'd be awesome.
Coffee style.
porter.
That'd be fucking cool, dude.
That'd be cool.
My ultimate favorite local bean has to be the Organic Man Coffee Trike.
Yeah.
Coffee Trike. Bean.
Fuck yeah, yeah.
The Trike bean.
just
the trike,
fucking
the
great.
Trike blend.
Yes.
I only
that
recently
bean is
got
so fucking good.
I only recently got a coffee machine with like a grinder and everything.
there you
So
go.
I've been like I started getting into
Leveling
that,
up.
You have to
leveling
get
that
your whole
up.
beans and you grind your own coffee before you brew it.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do
Well,
it.
this one has it built in, and so it's like you load the beans, it'll grind them up, and then it just starts brewing right after that. So
Yeah, I have a little Mr. Coffee that I paid like $15 for, a little thing like this, and it grinds just enough for one batch.
It's a different experience.
And
trust
it's perfect. You don't have to go expensive with
me.
your
Yeah, you
grinder.
have to go expensive. And like I said, for me, my coffee started like that.
I like
grind my own
French
grounds-
press.
grounds
That's-
every day,
Yeah.
then I brew my coffee.
I
And then I
fuck-
can talk to you.
it's all.
First coffee.
First coffee.
But first,
Every day.
Every day. Right, Chris? Coffee's life.
I feel you,
yeah,
man.
actually,
Speaking of,
it's
I
up
just
here.
fucking threw down like a Black Rifle on my way over here.
Oh,
the
shit.
fucking cans.
I've been
I
seeing those. Are they
needed
good?
that, dude.
I had a
Yeah.
a
It
sh-
Cold brew,
hits,
right?
man.
Cold brew?
They're good.
I had an ice
like
shaken espresso from Black and White Coffee House.
I haven't been there yet. I gotta check it out.
Pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's pretty
right here
pretty
by the-
great.
by the skate park. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right next to the skate park. Yeah,
Down that way, yeah.
Okay.
McPherson. Yeah.
yeah. There's
Shout out
Gotta
to
give
Black
it a
and
go.
White.
Yeah, they have they do of course like ice shaken espresso, right? So it's not like super watered down or anything like that. And then they do add what is it, oat milk, and then like some a little bit of cinnamon, and it like I don't know what
Sounds
it
good.
is. It like the little bit of like graininess from the cinnamon, like it tastes so good. It really brings that out too.
Nice.
So I had that right before this. I'm like wired right now. So
Same, man.
But
Coasting.
But so, and I wanted to wait till Dave got back from the pisser.
You drink beer, you gotta pee.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What was I gonna say? Oh, so I would imagine you have different like recipes that you're working on like simultaneously, right? But in terms of like you're forecasting a I know I saw that too. You're forecasting a summer 2022 opening, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we're forecasting.
Are you planning a do you have a menu of beers that you're gonna be like that are gonna be like your starting lineup?
Yes. That's what we are right now working on the recipes to see what people would like to see. Now, when it comes to the opening, I will say we might have around 5 recipes or 5 brews that will be available in the first opening, and from there is all what the city wants. You know, we are open to that's our thing. We always talk. We're open to opinions. We're open to, guys brew. Of course, we cannot brew every single
idea that comes to the door.
Yeah. Because also based on our capabilities and the equipment that we had, we're just starting right away, guys. But yes, that's the plan. We're gonna have at least 5 good solid brews, and then we go from there.
Can we expect at least like these 3 to be in that lineup? Or?
I think so.
I think so for sure.
Yeah, dude.
I fall in love with them, and so believe it or not, we brewed this like probably a month ago total.
Right. December 30th is when we brewed the stout.
Today's the day, and they're even testing them properly with carbonation.
Yeah,
I had the rough product before, but I never had the finished product up to date. And I came and said, "Oh wow!" So that's the beauty about brewing beer.
Thanks. Thank you.
You create something and then you wait, and then the satisfaction that you're like, "Wow!" And then just me, I'm glad you guys enjoy the beer.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially this is my favorite.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
For sure. And
awesome.
What would you say would be like in terms of like starting? Are you going to do like 4 beers? Is there something like is there like a number, or is it just like as you develop the recipe and perfect it, you decide what's going to actually land?
The way it goes, the way we always talk, some beer can be in rotation.
Right.
You're going to have the ones that always are going to brew all the time, and then you're going to have the ones that...
The flagship beers.
The flagship beers.
Right.
Sort of, and then you have the beer that, okay, like a stout. We can brew an Imperial Style probably in May, to just give you an example how the brewing team process works. But we're not going to release that until October.
Okay, got it.
Why? The time
because
beer to develop and the proper flavors. Aging, exactly.
Yeah. So I would say like kind of keep going on that, like the seasonal part too. Something else that would be pretty cool that we're shooting for is like, okay, if this brewery does pretty well, and we're not just in Laredo, but we're also in the Valley and in San Antonio and Austin, et cetera, how cool would it be to say like, you know what, like this is a Laredo exclusive thing.
Right. I mean? Like you can only get this fucking brew here.
Yeah, you can only get this brew locally in Laredo at the local restaurants and bars, or at the tap room if you want. But you can't get it in San Antonio, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, because like you get a lot of that from Austin. Like I was saying, like, oh man, I want to find Thirsty Goat, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, oh yeah,
gotta go to a brewery.
That's Austin exclusive. And I was like, really kind of like, well, cool for them, I guess. Right? It's like, and
fucking great.
That before we get into like, because we got a couple of questions from the audience. A couple people submitted a couple of questions. Before we get into that, my not necessarily final question, but what do you like foresee the plan being? Like you obviously want to sell here to like local bars and restaurants, right? But are you looking at like a canning, production, like to the point where it's like you're starting to get Laredo beers up in San Antonio and up in Austin?
Well, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
yeah.
The dream.
Yeah, it's definitely
a dream. If one day I'm walking to an HEB in San Antonio, I can see Saludos Beer. Like,
fuck yeah.
Wow.
It's definitely
I believe you guys. You're here first.
I believe in Harvey Dent.
When I go and pick up a nice by the pool from Saludos, I'll be like, oh, dude, we coined this.
Fuck it,
dude. I've already mentally notated that. Dude. It's gonna happen. Man.
Beautiful. And when it does, I'll cry. I'll cry. Honestly.
The first episode of Nice by the Pool will be here.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do Nice by the Pool here. So moving to these questions, and then we'll get into a couple of interesting stories.
Field your questions for this episode or future episodes on our Instagram at AOTBCAST.
Yeah, or send them over to our email if you want, or just DM us,
whichever.
That is all right. So we put up a question and said, hey, so this is going to be pre-recorded, right? Because normally we'll like live stream and people ask questions like
on the fly,
on the fly. But we've got. Why start this adventure? That's one question from Marlene Uribe. We did talk a little bit about journey, but like we say really like why? Like what is the drive behind it?
I think I can answer this one pretty, like fucking just hitting it right on the fucking nail on the. So, look, born and raised in Laredo, right? Like I've been here my whole life. I've heard this over and over again, like why stay in Laredo? Like why this? Why that? Like why not go somewhere else? And why would I want to live there? Whatever. Like, well, dude, like why don't we fucking change that? Like this is a great city. Like it's a fucking awesome place to live. Like there's nowhere else in Texas like Laredo. Like you could go in certain parts of the city and not feel like you're in the fucking country anymore. But why not be like Chris, a fucking pioneer in this craft beer movement in our city?
My respect.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. Hold it in, dude.
I respect. We all learn from your business, and
but it's like everybody bitches about it, or not everybody, but a lot of people bitch about it, and like, well, why aren't you doing something about it? So for me, it's kind of like, well, I love this city. I've been here my whole life. I'm gonna fucking do it. Like, I'm just going to go for it. Like, our city needs it. Like, Cultura has proved that there is a craft market in Laredo. And other friends who are in the bar business, they tell me the same thing. It's like, man, it sucks when we get out-of-towners coming to our bar and they see a tap list and there's nothing from our city. And it's like, well, I'm going to fucking put that fucking tap handle up there and there's going to be something from Laredo. So why? Why not?
Right. That's pretty succinct. I'd say.
I want to chime in really quick. Go ahead you first.
I'm adopted here too in Laredo, but the same thing. It's my neighborhood. It's my home. It's my body right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So why we can't have craft beer here? We're not different from San Antonio, McAllen, whatever. We need to move out of that mentality, and I think the craft beer is one of those ventures that you can prove that Laredo can expand. It's not about trucking. It's not about oil rigs. It's about something else. Yeah. This city is pretty big enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a bad city.
Yeah.
It's not. Laredo's not.
Can you bring the mic a little bit closer to you? Sorry.
That mentality that people have over here about how the city of Laredo. No, bro. It has so much you can be done here. And his mentality, I agree with him. We need to do something. It's going to work or not? Who knows? But at least we can say we try.
Yes.
100% right on.
Yes.
We're going to make it work.
We're going to make it work.
100 beautiful. That was beautiful.
Absolutely.
Chris, you had something to add?
Yes. Just going back to, the question that you asked these dudes here. I'm sure it would have been a hell of a lot easier if they were to just pick up from here, go to Austin, and assimilate to what's already happening there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And be part of something that's been happening for years. You'd probably be more successful, a lot faster. But I feel like the adventure and also just like being a pioneer and doing it first in a city that doesn't have it yet is way more gratifying, because it's harder. Me and Valerie, my wife, have tried many businesses that would have flourished. I would have been rich by now had I been living in Austin or San Antonio, Houston. But why go assimilate where you're a dime a dozen or you're one of many, whereas you can be the first one to do it in your city, in your hometown. It may take a little longer for success, but it's a hell of a lot more gratifying.
It's
worth the risk. And like you said, you never know until you try. And if you fucking suck at it or whatever, at least you gave it a shot.
Right.
Well, I think one of the things too is that with Cultura, you guys know one of my favorite places. I mean, my favorite place, like hands down. So much goes on there. We do 40F. We do the comedy, and it's just in general just a nice place. My girlfriend's there right now. It's just like
Nice.
hey, like catch up like later if you can, right? But and it's just kind of, it was like the center of that, you could be there, and like I was there on opening day, right? And I remember the downtown one. I remember just feeling like something's going on here, right? Like you feel it, right? And last night when we were doing the setup, I told David, I was like, dude, this is like you feel it, right? It's an energy that I think is like very I don't know, as a Laredoan who, we try to kind of like push like pioneering something too, or creating this kind of like platform. I think whenever we feel something and like kind of identify with it, it's a beautiful thing. So I really do think that I'm glad you guys each one of you chose to like start the adventure, right? So that those are all excellent answers, I say.
100%, dude. It's crazy to be at these tables with individuals that in their own way are in line with like the shit that I feel myself and the shit that Roger feels himself, like doing something that is breaking the fucking mold and really just taking hold of the culture and being like, no, fuck you. This isn't what Laredo's culture is. It's whatever we dictate it is.
Right.
So fuck all these dinosaurs that are out here trying to perpetuate X, Y, or Z shit. Nah, man. We're here. It's our fucking turn.
Right.
Now, shut the fuck up and drink the Saludos beer. Right?
Yes, sir.
Fuck that. That's what it's all about.
The next question that we have on here, and we'll expand this one a little bit. I'm taking what they're asking, but they're kind of modifying a little bit. But this one's from Mitzi Aguilar, which says, "What's the funkiest beer you plan to have on tap?"
That's a good question.
Yeah. I think Kenny can ask this.
I feel like Kenny got all the fun when it comes to
this whole
beer,
time
man.
he's been excited to just tell us all the things you've got. So it's here.
He's had some wild ideas, and they're like, dude, fuck yeah. What did you want to do with the blonde ale? You wanted to do like was it Jamaica?
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was because we always talk about it, We're in Laredo, obviously the heritage Mexican, American Mexican. Let's use the flavors that locally we all know and we love. I love. Let's start mixing some Jamaica, tamarindo on the stuff. When you get those things mix into the beer flavor, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I might hate it, I might love it.
You never know.
You never know. What's the name of that? Tepache?
Tepache. Fermented pineapple?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's another one. I mean, developing how I can mix that into a beer.
Right.
It takes time, guys. It's not that simple.
Some
It's not like you just
mazapan
add
in your
things in-
stout.
And that's
Oh,
a
dude, a
beautiful
mazapan stout,
Yeah,
I would
mazapan
kill.
stout.
I would kill for it.
You know,
A mazapan stout.
Yo,
I would imagine.
But
Yeah.
it's one of those flavors
Laredo
that
style.
A Saludos one.
it takes a while to develop that. It's not that simple because you need to understand your equipment, what you can do with your equipment before you can get a great beer coming out of that.
And also how much time you want to spend cleaning that fucking equipment.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You start adding like chocolate and shit. Like,
Those dudes that did the Gansito stout.
Yeah, the
Fuck,
5x5,
they're the fuck out of that thing.
There's to this
They
day.
have that
To this day.
25 pounds of gansito.
dang.
How you can get 25 pounds of gansito?
That's fucking wild.
I want to try it.
And
dude.
then who's going to clean that?
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
On that subject, though, I just want to notate, man, 5x5 has been
Yes.
fucking awesome with us.
Yes.
George Rice, I hope he hears this, but dude, that guy like fucking inspired this. Like he's one of the first people who reached out and said, Dave, you're gonna open a brewery. Like I heard, let me fucking help you. So shout out to fucking 5x5 Brewing Company in Mission, Texas.
Cheers, y'all.
Yeah.
Saludos.
Really good breweries. A really good beer too. They make fantastic beer,
They do make solid fucking beer.
and they're really cool dudes. And dudettes.
Chris, for your input on this one too, like what I mean, you guys have funky beers all the time, right? What's
Yeah.
it? What do you like to see on tap in terms of like a funky beer? What qualifies as a funky beer?
Sours. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
that would probably
yeah,
be your easiest way to go.
one of the last sours that we brought in that was memorable to me was a Modern Times. It's called Laser Rain. It was a cucumber lime goza. It was fantastic. It was not as sour as I thought it was gonna be.
Right.
So that was really cool. I'm not a big sour fan. I
Same.
can maybe have a little bit, maybe like a 8-ounce pour or something, and enjoy it. But after that, it's just too much, for me. But I've had a few kettle sours from what's it from? I think it was Community. A few years ago, they made one called Brett's Get It On, and that was actually really good. That's a good name. It's that Brett. It has a longer name to it. It's that funky. It's a yeast. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a yeast.
It's a yeast, right? It's in short, it's called Brett. But it has a longer name, and it's mainly used for kettle sours, and those are very sour beers. So
the first sour that I tried, and I was just kind of like, I don't think so. Was the Dogfish Ale?
Yes, the Sequench.
Yeah, Sequench.
Dude, that's one of my favorite ones, and that's definitely one of those by the pool.
Yeah, nice by the pool.
Nice by the
You'd be
pool.
surprised
Actually,
how much people drink. You'd be surprised how much people drink sours here in Laredo.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh yeah, my friends love the sours the most.
Yeah.
I think.
I keep telling you, I gotta get involved. First, I like to try the beer, like what is in the market, what they're doing, so I can understand the style first, and then can I do that with what I have?
A little bit of market research.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what the other guys are more adventurous to do.
What do you? What's your opinion on pickle beer? Is that a go-to or is that a beer crime?
Beer crime.
I have some pickle beer in my house.
Right.
Damn.
No, the one from the valley.
Oh, okay.
I don't like
Dilly?
the
The one from Big River?
Big Rivers.
I haven't had that one yet.
That's
Is it?
my favorite. Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
The Frito one was okay. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I tried the
I'm more fan from the valley version.
I gotta chime in real quick on the pickle beer craze.
Yes.
Just real quick. I do like them. The thing is, I think the best Martin House Best Made is probably the worst one. It's too fucking sour, and they ripped off New Braunfels Brewing Company's pickle fucker.
Oh.
They were the first ones to make a pickle beer in Texas.
Yeah.
He knows his beer. So.
The first one, and the pickle fucker is actually really fucking good.
Yeah. They have a spicy one too, right?
They have a spicy
I
one.
tried both.
They have one. They have a variation where it's there's 4 different pickle beers, and each one has different chilas.
Oh wow.
One has cascabel, one has habanero, one has serrano, one has jalapeno, and something else. And they're fucking spicy. But if you don't like to drink it just on its own, a michelada. Make it into a michelada.
Oh,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
About
Time.
I have a fellow homebrewer one day. He brought me his beer. It was a stout made with guajillo peppers. It was pretty good.
Damn.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Like I say, it just take time and adventures one day and see what happens.
I've had a curry stout before.
What's that?
Yeah, curry.
Oh, curry.
Curry stout.
Oh,
weird.
From Ballast Point. I forgot the name of the beer.
And
Somehow, some way, they had a keg in Laredo. And you want it, Chris? I'll fucking take it. Bring it over.
Dude, you're brave, man. That sounds kind of
Yeah,
too
that's
funky for me, man.
Yeah,
Spicy,
too
but,
funky.
And it was also summertime, so what we decided to do is make it into a float with ice cream.
I had sriracha beer before
And that
too.
shit was delicious.
Oh damn.
Sriracha beer.
Sriracha beer?
It was pretty good.
That's Texan, no? That's is that like sriracha? They have like a factory here or something.
No, they're in California.
Oh really? Okay, never mind.
They were planning to move down here, but they stay in California.
Have you ever tried a jalapeno beer or jalapeno beer?
No, I tried a I was at this little bar in San Antonio that they had their own like infusions. Oh no, not San Antonio. Sorry. At Christ, why is it escaping? The Buzz Mill in Austin. It was in San Marcos at the time. They do their own infused like gin and vodka and there's various liquors that they do there. And I tried a vanilla bean gin, and I tried a jalapeno cucumber martini. And both were pretty fucking good. So there was that I think it's not beer, right? But I did try like those infused liquors, and I would try a jalapeno beer, sure.
I've tried one once.
I
and
think the beer market is moving.
Kind of burned.
Is moving to those things, like we were just joking about gancitos, but
yeah.
Back in the 90s, you were saying adding gancitos to a beer. No, it's a no-no. And
It's
now
like
it's possible.
like pineapple and
It's
pizza.
more work for the brewer.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's more work because you gotta clean the equipment,
Right.
the grease and all that stuff that gets sticking to it.
Speaking of grease, Martin House has a buffalo wing beer. or a Buffalo Ranch beer or something.
All right, that's fucking wild.
That's wild. That's funky.
Yeah, it's like,
do crazy
like
stuff.
calm down. Okay, your guys are crafty. Like, bring the craft level down a little bit.
Yes.
Leave some for the rest of the cast to figure out. They want to do it all, man.
They're fucking making chip flavors over there.
yeah,
and shit.
they're everything. They're doing all kinds of beers. It's
Have
just
you been to the brewery, Chris?
Yeah. No.
I went.
went, right?
Yeah, I went
Yeah.
this past summer, and
Do it.
everything on that fucking tap wall was wild, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it was fucking wild. There was not a single beer on that tap list that was just a traditional beer style. Like, everything was weird, man. The only thing I tried a lot of their fucking beer when I was there, but the only pint that I ordered was like a cupcake stout or something, and it was pretty good. But everything else was like, dude, this is too much, man.
Yeah, I think it's overkill.
Yeah, but that's what they're known for,
Yeah, they
and being in Fort Worth, like, those guys have a really, really big market too. So,
That is true.
there's a lot of people who are down to try weird shit there.
I think the most out there beer that I've had was probably one of the stouts that was like I think abuelita chocolate, but with like some pepper in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember it being spicy like at the end, and you don't taste the spice at first, but then like after you fucking swallow that, you can feel the heat. And it was a Cultura, but I just forgot what fucking.
You know what it was? It was the Chocovesa from Stone.
Oh,
Yes.
dude, that's
Stone
a
Brewery.
solid fucking
That's
beer,
really
man.
good.
It was
Every
really
year,
fucking good.
I feel it gets better every year. I really
Damn,
do.
dude.
That's
I
a
fucking want to
fantastic
try that
beer.
shit now.
I remember the one that stuck with me, but not in a good way, was I tried the Snickerdoodle Ale. I think.
Okay, Community.
Or Snicker. No. What was it? Dude,
It was on one of the tasting.
It was one of the
episodes, right?
tasting episodes. It was the
Did it have a cookie?
the
Cookie Monster on it?
pecan pie cider, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man,
okay.
I was like pecan pie, my favorite.
I
I'm gonna
like that one.
I did not. It stuck with me. I was just like that.
It just tasted like apple cider vinegar to me.
Yeah.
That was the flavor I got from it.
The pecan pie cider wasn't so bad. Actually, I had ordered a case of it. I had one with the crew, and then we all kind of liked it. They was, what's up, cats? Should we get a keg of this? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. All right, so I got a keg.
Bishop.
And then it took forever to fucking sell.
Hey,
The cider cake is pretty fun.
I-
That's in Austin.
The what?
Cider cake. That's what Bishop is at.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No.
I got a proposal while we go into the
Yes.
next question.
It's right on.
All of our
dark side
glasses
is
are
good.
empty.
Yes.
Is there somebody who can get us a beer that's behind the cameras here?
Somebody from the production
I'm a little thirsty
crew.
myself.
You know, there's someone. We got a production volunteer.
Andrew needs to come out in this fucking shot, man.
Yeah.
This guy's a
Andrew.
fucking man.
Andrew, hey, what's up? Say hi, dude. What is
I'll go for a stout, to be honest. This is Andrew, everybody.
Yeah, you just get us some
everybody.
new cups, man. That'd be cool.
Yes,
New
make
Cup
that pale
stouts.
ale, my man.
Pale ale.
Yeah, I'll do a pale ale as well.
Stout.
My wife's here.
I'll have a stout also.
Hey, Val.
Yes.
3 pale ales, 2 stouts.
3 pale ales.
Gracias.
What a director.
For real, man.
What
Let's give him a round of applause. Nobody can hear this
Yeah,
from me,
Andrew,
Andrew.
but Andrew and Jason
man.
and Angel all making this shit
So,
happen in the background. So we look
while-
sexy as fuck up here. Thanks to them.
My friend Jason Lippman back there too. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah,
Hey.
Jason
Yeah.
Littman.
Andrew, pale ale is tap number 2. All right.
While we're
For reference.
We're waiting on that.
Okay.
while we're getting this one, while we're waiting for the beers, the last question that we have on here is, would you consider naming a beer "Nice by the Pool"? It says hashtag AOTB. So just driving that home. I was just kidding. I submitted that question.
I actually like that fucking
I like
name.
the name.
It's a great name.
I like
dude.
the fucking
Great
name.
name.
Okay, the question is, wait, what type of beer you're thinking of that? What you're looking into?
What's your favorite beer by the pool?
Stout. Who got a stout?
I got a
Stouts.
stout.
And then
Got a
everyone else.
pale ale.
My favorite beer by
This
the
is an
pool.
amber ale. But
That's
I'll
an
take
amber.
it.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah, they got me in.
They got you an amber?
That's okay.
It's okay.
I was just
they were
thirsty,
amber.
man. Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah, it's Andrew.
Andrew got
damn.
$1 less on a tip on that one. Give me an amber ale, man.
Hey, you know what was one of the questions on here, and it just maybe it's like a question to kind of expand on, and we'll do this one, and then we'll get into some story time. But this question on here is how much for beer? What you have like some like introductory prices or something that you're where Andrew drink up, dude. No one got amber.
You gave me the amber. Were you supposed to get? Oh, sorry, dude. I took a couple sips from it.
Well,
Man. Sorry, Andrew. Damn.
But yeah, like some people would consider like maybe like the price point is kind of like a gate to maybe not getting into craft all that much, because as it is, like you buy craft beer, it's probably like, it's much easier to get Bud Light, Miller, that kind of stuff at lower prices. What do you envision being like, some introductory prices for this?
That's an excellent question, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. This equipment that we're getting is not cheap, but that doesn't mean that we're going to try to fucking poke your eyes out. I think if you're going to come to the tap room and you're going to try a flight, I don't know what the price point's going to be, but it's not going to be something that's going to scare you away. Like, it should just be something that's reasonable. So maybe, I don't know, dude, like happy hour.
We're
like,
not rich.
Know,
We're beer drinkers, but we're not rich neither.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
He knows well, and he can tell you.
Yeah.
Some beers, could be $8, for example, if we go to a price point. But not all beer has to be $8 for a pint. Mm-hmm. We established that already.
Honestly, like the quality of the beer, I feel justifies the price.
I agree.
Like whatever that may be.
But,
absolutely.
But like we understand too, how am I gonna justify you to pay $8 for this if you're not even know that?
Right.
True.
So
yeah, I don't know.
It comes to the market.
I think for the record, our pints are not going to be at $8.
Just make sure that's on the record.
Let's just start there.
There you go. Yeah,
it's not going to be $7 or $8.
Let's put it set in stone. So unless I make an Imperial Stout,
we're going to be
at that point. Yeah,
that probably has
$12 for a 12-ounce.
Yes, that
100%, and I will fucking.
A lot of these beers, like a stout, for example, it takes a lot more grains. It takes a lot more grains to, or like an IPA, like it takes a lot more hops. So the more additions you add to it, like the more expensive the beer it takes, or like a lager, dude, like we were talking about earlier, like you're having that thing sitting in a fermenter for 6 to 8 weeks, and it's not just 6 to 8 weeks, it's sitting in a like unrefrigerated tank. Like that tank has to be cool, like it has to be in 34, 35 degrees.
So the glycol chiller has to be running 24/7, and that's what we want to make sure people know. This is not about like Budweiser have a massive equipment. They can afford to sell you that. I don't know what is the price, a 12-pack, but
yeah, super dirt cheap. But
yes, but when it comes to that, we're not gonna rip you off because we understand too. Like I said, we're not rich. We are beer drinkers too,
right?
And I had to look at the prices and say, is that IPA really gonna cost $11.99? Is it worth it or not for a 4-pack? I'm one of those guys. And I had to read the can and probably check some.
It was like 10% ABV. Okay,
well,
that sounds like it might be worth it.
Yeah,
there's alcohol involved.
The Merlin. I was what's that? Lorelei Brewery. I was
That was a Merdude.
Yeah, the Merdude.
The Merdude. 9% maybe.
9% for that.
Oh, Nitro Merlin was the other one that we were talking about.
Nitro
Yeah,
Merlin was from. Is it Firestone Walker?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's very familiar.
Yeah, that was
nice beer too.
This guy liked that one.
Beautiful beer.
But you like the Merdude too. The Merdude was a solid.
I like the Merdude a little too much. Got me in trouble.
Yeah, I did. I remember that.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
Lorelei.
There was one time they had a
shout out to those guys too, man. I haven't met them, but South Texas Brewing.
Cheers.
Like,
we
fucking
have
awesome.
really
Yeah,
decent
cheers to those
brewers in
guys.
Texas. It's just people need to know them.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
Yeah,
Brewers Summit,
Corpus
dude,
Christi.
in Laredo.
Please check out Lorelei, Nueces,
Nueces is all.
and Rebel Toad.
Nueces, did you ever have the black IPA?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Beautiful
It's pretty
beer.
fucking good.
Beautiful beer.
We tried it.
Their
At
heads
my
pretty
house,
good.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, they have
It's
a really
fucking
good
solid,
hefe.
man.
And they they had some really good IPAs as well. And I like that place. I like that place a lot. And Rebel Toad also. They had had a milkshake IPA last time I was there. Valerie had it. I forgot the freaking flavor. It might have been peach. I think it was a peach milkshake IPA.
Peach milkshake.
That sounds insane.
phenomenal,
That sounds
dude.
delicious.
Yeah.
Actually.
And blueberry sour too. That shit was good too.
You know what?
I still have a can at my place of the Rebel Toad blueberry sour.
Well, after it, Chris's. That's
Just to try that.
kind of going back to like what's like the funkiest beer. It's something that I've kind of like thought, and I thought it would be really fucking cool to like talk about it here. I know Chris does Oktoberfest in at Cultura, but dude, why don't we start a new fucking tradition? Let's call it Oktoberfest, dude. Like instead of like fucking German like shit, like we fucking have mariachis, like and like I don't know, dude. You know what I mean?
I mean,
that's every weekend, man.
That's every weekend.
That's what it is.
I feel like there's a lot of German influence into Mexican culture either way, isn't there? Like the whole like drawing parallels between like the polka music or polka.
Oh,
music.
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
German
Well,
Czech.
it's
Yes.
part of Texas history.
Right, German settled towns,
All the
Fredericksburg.
settlers mostly came from Germany.
Right.
You know, and you read to Texas history, they were trying to set up a new kingdom down here, even from Heavenville all the way up to San Antonio, New Braunfels area.
Basically, the hill country.
Yes.
Yeah, in Fredericksburg, you can walk around Main Street and the families are talking German.
Yeah, you can just fucking throw up a Hail Hitler and everybody be like, yeah, man.
You had to get one. Had to get one in there. Had to get one in there.
And don't go that far. Mexico took everybody. You had the Irish, you know.
Yeah.
But Oktoberfest, guys.
I love
Oktoberfest.
I dig it. I dig it.
I'm in it.
I dig it.
I'm in it to win it.
I'm in.
Okay.
I'll contribute in any way
brew that.
possible.
Down.
Yeah. Okay.
can brew that.
I got a proposition here. You do Oktoberfest like on one weekend, let a week or 2 week pass, and then it's fucking Oktoberfest, dude.
Dude, the last weekend, like with like a whole like Dia de los Muertos, Halloween,
Yeah.
shit all together.
That sounds.
Would be really cool.
So
David would be like, this would become a thing for everyone to do, but different dates though.
Yeah.
Oktoberfest in Laredo.
Fuck yeah,
So
dude.
you're like you on a Thursday, maybe us on a Friday, Capataz on a Saturday, and just continue it going, man. And whoever wants to participate.
You heard it here first.
Boom.
Oktoberfest.
Aliens on the border, breaking fucking barriers and
know,
creating
don't
all this
be-
shit.
And they make an Oktoberfest beer that we're all gonna have on tap.
Fuck yeah, dude.
100%.
That sounds beautiful.
That'd be cool.
Everyone has it on tap.
So this is a
Get-
paranormal aliens podcast. Okay,
Right,
it's,
yeah.
it's the roots of the podcast. I would say a big part of what we like to call spoopy
spoopy
hour, spoopy time. But before yesterday when we were doing a little kind of set up for this,
Little mock for the set.
yeah, David told me that he was like, oh man, Kenny's got some fucking crazy stories, and I was like, "All right."
earlier.
I used to live in a place. Which, by the way, Chris, you used to live in the same place that I used to live at, right?
It's
I
not
don't.
haunted.
Ah, bro,
It's not haunted?
What?
No?
What
Certified
a
zero?
shit. I'm just kidding. I experienced a lot at my place, right? The old place. I don't live there anymore. But there was always this like recurring story that I would tell because everybody would ask me about it. This guy's been there a few times, and he would say like, "Oh, a vibe here, creepy." it's creepy.
Yeah, it was like just feeling watched more than anything. Like that fucking just feeling like someone's staring at you. That's what it felt like to me, at least.
I'm gonna give like the super brief rundown just because I want you guys to know, right? But it's been talked about extensively at some point. But
Ad nauseam.
there was it started with me going. There was my room was getting construction done. I had already paid rent, so I was just kind of waiting for it to finish so I could move in. But two of my roommates had already moved in. I swung by to go and check out the construction. This is an old building. It was built in 1901. It used to be a Pepsi factory. And when I went in there, I checked the construction. I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave. My roommates were there, and they're like, hey, do you want to stick around? I was like, no, like I'm gonna go eat. Like there's nothing for me here. I was like, no, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. And she was like, my roommate goes, are you sure you don't want to stick around? We're having paranormal investigators coming by.
We got some ghost hunters.
And I was like, you have my attention, right? And so I sat back and like listened to what they were mentioning. They're like, yeah, some weird stuff is happening here. Aside from the usual stuff that you'll hear from places that are like creepy, which is like I hear a lot of like footsteps, and I see, I hear the doors opening and closing, like that kind of stuff. She had a very like vivid story, which was she said that for whatever reason, she felt, or her boyfriend felt, that whatever it was had like attached itself to her from like maybe from her old place that she brought to that place, whatever. But he said specifically it was like there was like a different weight to her. To the point
heavier all of a sudden.
To the point where when she's like walking, you can kind of hear like the heaviness in the footsteps, right? Like she's heavy footed more than usual, whatever. And so they tell me, oh yeah, at one point what ended up happening was I was walking up the stairs and my boyfriend, right? This is her talking, right? My boyfriend was behind me and he had stopped to kind of like listen because he just felt like it was like very heavy all of a sudden, and he stopped. So she noticed that he had stopped, so she turns around and the footsteps continued up past them. like up the stairs, and then they were like, "What the fuck?" and they freaked out, right? And the whole story behind the investigator thing is just another thing. We'll get into it on another podcast at some point. But the funny thing was that after we had like some other like experiences, they asked some neighbors that were living like right around the corner who were part of the same building, not the same unit, but they had lived in the place that we were living at. And they told me, oh yeah, totally haunted. They were like, yeah, like you hear like pianos playing, the piano that they had, there was a piano in the place, it plays by itself and I don't know what. And so she was like so fed up and like terrified by things that were happening there because there was a lot of stuff, some like kind of ugly stuff too. And so she got a deacon to come in and bless the place. And they, you know, he kind of walked in and he looked around and he was like, we're going to need a big ass bowl and like a lot of water and salt and bless the shit out of this place. He didn't say it like that, right? But it was close enough.
Bring me 2 chicken, a stick of gum, and a fucking light bulb.
And so
whiskey.
He was like, and it was funny. It's funny because like at the time, you know, one of my roommates had invited a bunch of her friends, and like the deacon showed up while everybody was hanging out, and they were like, "You guys got to stand up and be part of this or get out," right? And so they were like, "Well, fuck, dude." And so they all got up, and he was basically like forcing them to get blessed. It was ridiculous. And but after that, all the stuff stopped. And maybe that's like a placebo effect, right, or something. But that was kind of like the story of like that. But there's a whole lot that spans in that whole era of me just like living in that place. But I'm curious to hear like, what's a crazy story? What's something that's...
When I moved down here, I keep hearing about the lights. I know it's no ghost, but
yeah,
you get those lights in the sky, right?
This is the
and
guy.
One day I stop on 35, take a leak, and I look towards that basically will be Highway 44, and I see those 3 dots.
Dude, I have them on video.
Yes.
I caught them on video.
Coming, right? And they fade out. And when they come back, they're flying in the opposite way.
Yeah, I have it on video.
How you can do that?
I'll show you guys later. We obviously can't pull it up on here, but I have it on video. It was specifically, it was like a sequence. One of them gets really bright and then fades out. Another one gets really bright, fade out, and then the fourth one, or whichever one comes out, it like comes out like looking like a flare.
It's like a flare, right?
I'll show you the video that I caught, and I'll show you the video that on the same day somebody had tagged me because I uploaded it to Facebook, and somebody messaged me and was like, "Hey, that same like thing that you saw, somebody else saw it in like Uvalde or something, or out by like the oil fields or whatever, and they caught the exact same sequence that I'm seeing, but from another angle." So it's really fucking cool to see. We'll splice them together at some point and upload it on the podcast, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It blows your mind.
I had been telling people for the longest time, you need to see this. Like it's
like a phenomenon, right? Like
I had seen it like multiple times, and I had been telling my friends like every night, sometime like around. It was always like the beginning of the year, right? And it was always me heading like
right fucking now,
35 north, right? And I was always heading on that area, and like kind of like in like if you're looking maybe like northwest, you
close
see
to Encinal, which is Highway 44.
Yeah,
if you look towards that, will be like northwest.
Nuts.
You're gonna see that.
That's fun because we didn't talk about this beforehand, so.
Boom, corroboration. What do you like? I don't know. Do you question for everyone on the table? I think we've established like our points of view on this, but I'm still gonna ask you either way. But like, are you on the fence more so as like a skeptic? Do you believe in general on like weird shit like that? What's your take on it, Dave?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I definitely believe. Like, how could it be right? Like, we're just like one little planet in a expanding universe, right? There's absolutely no fucking way that we are like the only planet that has living beings with somewhat intelligence. So yeah, dude. What's my take on it? Like, dude, I don't know. Like, didn't like the fucking like U.S. government just like release like
footage
and like confirming like there's shit that we just don't know. Like it's like it's probably, I don't know, this intelligence that we just can't comprehend as human beings. So yeah, dude, I fucking believe that for sure, man.
I did 2 years, 1 year in Iraq, 1 year in Afghanistan. every night watching the sky, especially Afghanistan. I was in the middle of nowhere, close to the Himalayas, way up north, you know. I never saw anything. And then I moved to Laredo, and I see some crazy lights in the sky. It's like, what is going on?
Why in Laredo?
Why in Laredo? And then, in fact, I mean, I have friends telling me they even had little orbs chasing the vehicle.
I've heard about that shit before.
Ball lightning?
Yeah. I don't know about ball lightning specifically, but so the first fucking ever Patreon episode is up. So far it's just the audio. We're working on getting the video up, but if patreon.com/AOTBCAST, go listen to that shit if you want to. In any case, we're talking about that because there's been different people that I've spoken to, and the guest that I had on, which is my cousin. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Infinite Talk Podcast. But people have described like these metallic looking like drones, orbs that they see in like the middle of the day, like not even at night or anything. But
that scared the shit out of me.
That'd be fucking crazy, right?
and the people told me, we're talking about that when they face that, or it's 10 plus years back. So it's not like, oh, it's a drone. No, though. We're talking about
some
back
shit.
then.
Yeah.
But it was nothing flying out there. So who knows?
Who knows what the fuck it is?
Who knows what the fuck it is?
The thing that I heard commonly described was like kind of like some were like metallic or like some like a beach ball type of thing where it's like transparent or translucent.
Yeah, that's what I could.
Right?
I was yeah.
So it's weird. And one of the people that told this story is on a very old podcast. Like, I don't think you were on there for that one yet, but he was describing seeing it like outside of a gas station, just kind of like hovering over a billboard, like off of I-35 and stuff. And he was like, what the fuck? He had a grainy, like potato quality video at it because it was like a flip phone or some dumb shit. But like that was one of the stories that I was told. And Eric had a different story about almost like the exact same thing in that area as well. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's, from what you said, now that there's footage out there and everything, like it's like, what the fuck are we even talking about anymore? You know? Like, it's for real, for 100% for sure. Chris, what do you think? Like, even not necessarily just UFOs, but just in general, like your take on the weird.
The weird. Well, I definitely do believe in other life out there. Absolutely. I want to say, well, yeah, I saw a UFO when I was younger. Crazy story, but
tell it. We want to hear it.
Okay, I'll make it quick. So when I was in high school, me and my buddies would get together and film short films, have zombie films, whatever the fuck. We used to go to Casablanca and get nice production out there and whatever, spill fake blood and whatever. So one day, dropping my friend off at the base. Over here, actually, right here, across the street, actually, the base, yeah. And dropping him off, and I'm driving towards my neighborhood, and I get to a stop sign. I see this green orb coming down quick. I figure it's space trash coming into the atmosphere. It burns green sometimes. It's coming really quick, and then it stops. It's like, holy shit. So I had my high camera that we used to use to record. So I got off, recording the camera. Well, I got the camera, press record, recording this little orb that starts going to the left at this point. So I'm just there recording this little thing, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. This is a UFO, I've been reading about this my whole life, and whatnot, and here it is. I was ecstatic. There's this dude coming up to me down the block, and I'm like, hey, dude, you see that fucking UFO right there? He's like, you want to buy some weed? I was like, no, dude, it's this fucking UFO, man.
Yes,
like,
but also this UFO.
No, I'm not smoking no weed right now. This is real. I'm sober right now, okay? So anyways, I recorded. It goes behind eventually it goes behind a tree, and I just couldn't get around it. And of course, it's high up there, but just my perspective, I just couldn't get to it. So I cut the footage, drove back to my friend's house, which is like 3 blocks away, hooked it up with the RCA cables to the TV, and we started watching the video. And we're like, oh, this is fucking insane. We got a UFO on camera. And I can't find the footage to this day.
I was about to ask, man.
I know. It's
AOTB
whatever.
exclusive.
But, it's up here. So.
And Cultura is definitely haunted, right?
No, it's not.
Bro, come on.
No.
It is totally.
Okay, why? What makes you say that?
You know why? Because we had the conversation about the faucet.
Okay.
Yes.
That's just pressure.
No.
It's been debunked.
It was not. It's not.
It's been debunked because
hasn't been debunked.
George
Hasn't been
Alvarez
debunked.
have told me this.
Has it been debunked?
Wait. Let's just provide context.
Okay, all right, look. So
a
few times I had heard people were saying, Oh, upstairs Cultura, kind of creepy. Some shit happens there occasionally. There was a few friends of mine that I knew that were like, whether they worked there or whatever, but there was like, oh, whenever it's like alone, right? Like this weird shit that happens. Specifically, people would talk about the faucet in the ladies' room, and that it would just like all of a sudden randomly just start turning on, right? And people would fucking freak out, right? And one of the other comics. George, I think George Alvarez. He like overheard me and my friend who had worked there at the time talking about it, and George was like, "That happened to me too," and I'm like, "All right,
what were you doing in the ladies' room?"
No, he said
2022.
He was like, "I was walking by, whatever, this and that." I was like, oh, "Okay, cool." So didn't really register again. We've been running the mic drop out of Cultura for going on 3 years, dude. Damn. I mean, I know it's been kind of like gaps here and there, but one of these nights after everything was said and done, everybody was taking off, and I was like helping clean up and put away chairs and all this other stuff. I was one of the last ones up there, and I think you were there like outside on the balcony or whatever, waiting for me to finish up. And I get out of the restroom, and I'm like walking like right past the ladies' restroom, and then I turn like out of instinct, like not instinct, but like I just remember like, oh, ladies' restroom, this is where that weird shit happens. And like the light was on, I was gonna reach in to turn it off, and then I see with my own fucking eyes the tap just and I was like, oh shit, son. And I remember like walking over and I'm like, Chris, this thing, and he was like, it's the pressure. It's not. I'm like, no, dude, it's a ghost.
Well, let me tell you.
Tell me it's a ghost.
I'm gonna debunk it right now.
All right.
For everybody, So I ever hear these stories, and what concerned me was not that, was the fact that I never had, and to this day, I don't have hot water in those restrooms.
Okay.
So when they set up those restrooms and they put the water lines, I'm assuming that they hooked up one sink to the other. There's the wall that divides them, right? Girls, female and male's restroom. So I actually called a plumber to come in and let me know. Please tell me there's hot water somewhere, some way to turn it on, because
he was like, no, there's ghosts.
The ghosts make it cool.
Right? Anyways, so he goes, and I'm in one restroom. I'm in the girls' restroom, and he goes and turns on. I think he hits a faucet for the hot water, leaves it on, but then the pressure goes to the female's restroom, and then the shit turned on its own.
Well, if it's properly,
did the knob turn too?
No, the knob
because he said that
I saw the knob turn.
Because people go to the hot water and they turn it on, nothing comes out. They turn the cold water on, but they leave the hot water on.
If you're saying it's debunked, if he's saying it's debunked, then that means it can be recreated, right?
Yes.
So if you can recreate it, then I'll say on record, officially. I remember having a conversation. I remember having a conversation with Chris about this, and he was just like, dude, stop saying it's fucking haunted. It's not haunted. I'm like, oh, it totally is. And then he was like, I remember we were talking about like maybe the building next door or something, because that shit's been condemned, and there's like, I don't know how many people died there.
I didn't say about the people that died at Cultura.
No, that's a brand name, you know what I'm saying?
So when we first moved in, and we had just opened, I guess, and we had remodeled. It was nice. We're open for business. And then the LPD shows up, and then one of the cops is like, "Oh wow, man, you guys did a good job in here, and this place was a fucking dump before you guys came in, and I saw a dead body here, I saw a dead body back there,
oh shit,
I saw a dead body upstairs," and then the other cops like, "Yes." And I was like, "Please do tell more."
There was a dead body that had opened the faucet upstairs for some reason.
He's a faucet ghost.
Faucet ghost, dude. I like how candid that cop was too. I wonder if
he was. I thought he was joking. And the other guy, "Hey man, just quiet, man. You want to tell me that shit?"
It's an ongoing investigation, man. Come on.
Oh man, and so saludos, any dead bodies? You said,
I hope not. No, I don't think so.
Just an office. It was an office
dude,
before.
This building is not as old as y'all's building.
Yes.
No Indian cemetery, anything like that.
No.
We always get these old buildings that have been up for erected like in the turn of the century or something, and we make a business out of it for some reason. We're just attracted to that.
That's a pretty big old city.
When we had Cafe Dolce, the OG version, downtown in Victoria, that was an old house, man, and we hear a lot of weird shit, but I never experienced anything. But it was trippy. It was, I guess your mind plays tricks on you, and you can be walking like down the hallway and it's dark, and it's like, let's get fast, let's cut the corner real quick to the next room, and turn the light on, that kind of thing. But I never really saw anything. I filmed a few videos, of music videos where it was like, supernatural stuff going on, but it was obviously, we're pretending and had, shadows and lights and shit, but that was it.
So
we didn't actually capture anything.
For now though, Cultura still haunted. I'm just gonna say that it's,
until proven otherwise.
And then we'll just we'll leave it open.
Why don't you
for
call your deacon to come and bless Cultura?
I don't know where he's at, man. That guy was interesting dude. He really was. I'm not even kidding when I say like he was like not
like
very
a neck tattoo and shit.
No, it was not very holy behavior. I think when he walked in there, it was
He was more like Constantine.
No, he wasn't. That would have been cool as fuck.
That would have been super fucking.
No,
cool.
he
a cigarette and then a tattoo.
Yo, shout out Constantine. It's a great fucking great movie.
I'll tell you what's funny is that like so I don't know deacons. I imagine like an assistant priest. Maybe they don't have to be as like professional or some shit or holy and devout, whatever you want to call it. But I remember this guy walked into the place, and Chris, you know the layout because you've seen it, right? But when you first enter the door, it's like this garage space. And we used to have that area set up as like a little place to hang out. We had a couch that was open to the elements, so it was like really nice and cool, like in fall and stuff. And we had a couch and like a little projector set up and like a little sheet and all this other stuff. And there was some shelves that just had like a bunch of random knickknacks that one of my roommates put up. And on there was like a couple of like statues that were not necessarily of like Buddha, but like it had that like that Eastern Asian, I guess, like a influence to it. And so this guy walks in, the deacon walks in, and we're like, oh yeah, come in, whatever, right? And he walks in, he's like, we're gonna walk him to like the actual part of the house, like where the hauntings happen or whatever the fuck. But he stops and he looks at the shelf full of the stuff, and he's like, is that Buddha? And I'm like, no, man. It's not Buddha. He's not even fat. Like what is it? Skinny boy Buddha. And he's like, and then he's like, it doesn't matter. Those need to go down or I leave.
What? It's because like, dude, it's different gangs. It's like if you fucking like if you brought in like a blood.
Yeah, he's like, are you frying those colors right now?
Yeah, come on, bro.
And so he told me that, and then he was like, those go down, and then we walked into the place and we had like candles lit for like, smell purposes, not anything else. And he's like, how many rituals have happened here?
You should have been like, first of all, how many kids have... No. He's the assistant priest.
He schedules them. He doesn't... Yeah, so he's like, how many rituals have happened here? I'm like, that's kind of a loaded question, Father, don't you think? Like, it was like he's like, honestly, like, do any of you practice any sort of like Satanism or any of that kind of stuff? And it's like, no, man, we're just vibing. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just
wanted to smell like eucalyptus in here, dude. What the fuck are you talking about?
And then he went on. He was like, how much? Not even is there, but he was like, how much drug use is there?
And then he was like, are you high right now?
He saw us and he was like, oh, there's drugs. Like, for sure, there's drugs. So he was just not, the usual Orthodox priest, I would say. But yeah, man. So
fucking interesting experience, I guess, dude.
So we're getting really close to wrap, right?
Well, yeah. And fuck, we didn't get into one of the things that I wanted to talk about is because the lights that you'd mentioned, I've never seen those lights myself or anything, but I was telling Kenny that when on one of the very fucking first podcasts, I think it was like episode 13 or something like that, I had on Laredo Paranormal Research Society, and they were like, check this video out on YouTube. It's on their YouTube page if you can find it. There's a craft that you can see through like their night vision that you can't see with your naked eye. And it's like a fucking triangular craft with like the 3 lights and all this shit. And like, I've gone down that rabbit hole specifically so much just because like way before there was mention of this like, I don't know, military craft called the Astra TR-3B or something like that, where apparently, and I'm going like off the deep end right here, but I don't give a shit. apparently it's like a reversed engineered tech from shit that they caught or came across in Roswell, and they made like their own fucking thing out of it. And then on 4chan and other like message boards and shit, like there's videos of it in Iraq. It's like some fucking weird triangular shaped craft, and it just like you see like some lights flash up under it, and like the fucking
you ever
ground
heard about
explodes.
the light of the Howard Johnson, the Hoya Hotel?
No.
One light goes on at night.
Which one?
The one downtown?
The one by the river. Yeah.
No shit.
It's not the real Grand Plaza.
The Grand Plaza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've just talked about this pretty recently too. I think.
I don't remember it.
That light goes on at night.
On what level were?
Almost on
the top, the 15th.
We also said something similar with Mercy Hospital, where there's the lights that go on at the top.
The three crosses.
The three crosses.
Yeah, the three crucifixes or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Have you guys ever seen them? I mean, you've lived here all your life.
Right.
Did you ever see those lit at night?
I never ventured into that fucking place.
I mean, they're like, you can see them
at that hospital, but
so was I.
You can see them from like outside, like they're on the roof, and there's three crucifixes on the roof that have, I guess, like I don't know, like Christmas
Holy
lights,
power, solar power,
yeah, or something. Because
energy.
Up until recently, like I distinctly remember driving at night, like you know that one little bridge that takes you into a Zapata, whatever Chihuahua or whatever the fuck, like if you're going southbound, you could see them on
the metal bridge.
Yeah.
Metal?
Yeah.
Right,
So like
metal
you
bridge, you can. Yeah, that's where you can spot that.
Yeah.
And I would distinctly remember, like even in high school, even like maybe a couple of years after I graduated, like 2011, 2012, 13, 14, those crosses being on, like they were end the night, and it was already like shut down, like completely. So I always thought that was weird, and I remember asking, like I've asked people, I've brought this up, and they're like, I've gotten mixed answers, like yes, I remember them being on, or like no, like they were never on, and I was like, I don't know, it's weird. So I'm just like,
how do we call these lights? I don't have no idea
no?
what you're talking about.
Anybody? What about in the back here? Anybody in the production team? No?
Sounds like you're bullshitting, dude. I don't know.
I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not. Look, if you fucking listen to this or watch this shit, comment on here if you remember those lights being on in recent memory. Because, like, I distinctly, dude, remember being like, how the fuck? I always thought, like, how the fuck, who's turning these on?
Another creepy area in Laredo is that right there on Carlton Road, right on the river.
Yeah, that's like close by here.
Like,
Which, in like, down this way or what?
Yeah.
Going straight to the
I don't think I've
towards
gone all the way down that way.
You go to back, I would say 10 years ago, it used to be a little shrine from Santa Muerte right there.
No shit.
And at night, you can see a light in Mexico. Yes, call a smuggler, people crossing, whatever it was. But it was super creepy. And the vibe in the area was super, super scary.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Right there. So what it is? It's
Go
like
to Carlton Road and make a right.
Oh, make a right. So you get so that Caliche Road.
Yeah, you follow that road
because
and you see like the only tree down there.
Because you go down Carlton, it kind of curves to the left towards LCC, right? Towards the food bank.
Yeah, you go left, go to the no.
It's what we
No,
call the
no. If you turn right, it will take you to the left will be
towards the food bank.
But if you go
towards
turn
the museum.
right,
Yeah,
it's more creepy.
Because you get on.
Trust me.
I've cruised that on my bike, but during the day, fuck nighttime. Not
right?
It's too wild. I have a friend that rides at night, and I'm by himself, and he
That
does those kind of
area
trails.
is
He's
super creepy.
insane.
Seriously.
But during the day, I've done that before. But I'm just cruising, vibing, whatever. It's just okay. But I want to look into that, see if I can find
that. We're fixing up to get a 4DF going about like Mexican death cults and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So talking about the Santa Muerte and everything.
There's a lot of stuff happening. I mean, that religion, that's yours.
Yeah, I mean, but it's interesting because I feel like it goes all the way back to
there's a lot of stuff in
Aztec
the city.
stuff.
People believe in different type of cults and Santeria, whatever you want to call it.
We could definitely go on about all of that for everything.
But so many stories.
Yeah. If you have crazy stories like that, send them to us and we'll retell it here on the podcast. But it's thank you guys for sitting with us for these 2 hours that have flown by.
Yeah,
it's been 2 hours. Great fucking beer.
Yes,
guys, plug. Where can people find you on social media and stuff like that?
Right now we're on Instagram. You find us Saludos Brewing. Same with Facebook too. Yeah,
Saludos
give us a follow, a like our photos, share it. Like let's blow this thing up, man.
Send a message, say hi.
Yeah, DM.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll be there, guys.
Chris?
Yeah, definitely follow and like check out when the we're planning a summer 2022.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout.
Summer.
Are you planning on doing any sort of like tasting or anything like that beforehand, or?
Yeah, we want to have at least one more tasting.
Cool.
Small scale again. Hopefully in March. That's when this will be getting here too. But yeah, man, summer 2022 is probably it is the timeline. You know, sometime in the fucking summer. You'll
Chris?
probably hopefully see it at Cultura Beer Garden too.
Anything you want to plug as we end and wrap up here?
Just tune in to Cultura Beer Garden's social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and my wife does a great job posting, you know, and also, you know, doing little videos about what's going on during the week and a lot of events that we have. And, you know, you guys are coming up, you know, with the Aims on the or
4DF.
Fourth Dimension Friday, and then also hopefully talk to Val. She's here about the comedy
Thursday?
show.
Are we doing Thursday? Are we doing this Thursday?
Mic drop.
Oh yeah, she's like
She's
shy. Okay.
We'll talk about it off camera. But, you know, whatever.
Put
Yeah,
the camera on it.
it's fine
Actually.
no, just a quick shout out to the Saludos guys here, to Kenny and to David. I'm actually really proud of you guys, and the liquid is fantastic. Looking forward to more tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And cheers to you guys, man.
Saludos.
Saludos.
Cheers. Cheers. As
Hey.
for us, what do you want to
awesome.
plug?
No, hey, I was just gonna say thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you like this format, like definitely subscribe to the Patreon, because that's gonna help us start funding these kind of things more often.
Yes.
Definitely follow our Instagram
media.
and our social media. It's at AOTBCAST. Look us up, Aliens on the Border, anywhere on. We just got our Facebook page back up. We're starting to upload content there again after it was obliterated and Thanos snapped out of existence by Mark
Out of the metaverse.
Right, and but we're working on growing that back up. The YouTube's coming up too, and yeah, so we're trying to get more, you know, better produced content for y'all, and I'm super excited for it. I know Josh is too.
Yeah,
You wanna
man.
lead on?
Yeah, so this Friday, when you're watching this, it's Monday. So this Friday, February the 4th, Fourth Dimension Fridays, it's official. We're going to be doing 4DF, Modern Warfare. What does that mean? What does that mean? We'll be talking PsyOps. We'll be talking fourth and fifth generational warfare, the threat of World War III looming and all that type of shit. So false flags, all of that. Come here and open up your mind, which is what we love to do. And that's exactly why 4DF exists. We'll be at Cultura 9 p.m. on Friday.
This 4DF isn't being uploaded to our SoundCloud. So
Yeah.
if you want to go there and be part of the whole thing, then cool. If not, then you have to catch it on Patreon.
Yep.
And again, that's at Patreon at AOTBCast.
TBcast. Yeah, patreon.com/AOTBcast. Go and subscribe and, send us money if you want. And we'll do cooler shit. But we love you guys, and that's all that we've got for you today.
Shout out to Saludos and you guys for joining us.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Guys over here.
Thanks to the crew as well. For
huge shout out
tuning in.
to Andrew, Jason, Angel for making this look
Thanks,
beautiful
homies.
as fuck. And we're gonna ride out to something a little bit here to just kind of like.
I gotta pee.
Oh shit!
We gotta clap. Clap, clap.